Hey, welcome to another Friday night, y'all. You know how we do. It's time for the living room tonight. And we know the topic is a part two. Remember part one, 20 questions for the lovers? Well, we're going to see if we can get into that tonight. Just got to see who's going to be in the house with me. You know how we do. So, got to sip some tea the whole nine. Let's go. I'm a filmmaker. I've worked in film, video, and television for over 30 years. I took a little break, but now I'm back. Hello and welcome to another edition of Art Imitates Live. I'm Tanya Dixon. Greatest place for news, entertainment, all that kind of stuff. You know how we do. We had Soul Spotlights this week. Tonight, we're going to see who spiked the tea and see what's going on in the living room. We know see who spiked the tea. That's our hot topic segment. And we'll talk about all kinds of things. Some things will follow up from last week and then some new stuff tonight. Some happy, some sad, some just plain old funny. And then, of course, we have the living room part two, 20 questions for the lovers. So this is going to be interesting. Let's see what goes on tonight. But you know how we do. I like to take a word for the sponsors. We'll be back to see what's happening on tea in just a few moments. Art Imitates Live with Tanya Dixon is being sponsored by Tandyland Global, bringing your multimedia dreams to life. Welcome back. I see my phones are having a good time over here and playing stuff. So let me go ahead and get that ready. Welcome back. I was all on party line over here, y'all. You know, back in the day, remember the party line? For some of y'all, it might be too young to remember that. Everybody on the phone having a big party and everything. That's what I was doing over here right by myself. So welcome to Art Imitates Life. You know, it's about time to see who spiked the tea, but I'm going to go ahead and let some of my folks on in the house. So go ahead and unmute yourselves and come on in. Let's see if I can unmute you too, Veronica. There we go. Hey.
Hey.
Hi.
How y'all?
How do you?
Good.
Well, until our folks get here, it's just us hanging. Let's see who's coming on in this living room tonight. You know how it is when you having a gathering at your house and you tell people to be there at a certain time and they come to the party, whatever they want to come to the party.
Oh, yeah.
What's happening tonight? Folks just straggling into the party right now. And so
we call that fashionably late in the South.
Yeah. Fashionably late. So they'll be here. And in the meantime, in between time, this is what we're doing right here. Okay. I see Bruno Moose in the comments.
Right, where you at?
Right. And so we'll just see what's going to happen in a minute. We got a lot going on, but you know, we're going to take a moment and see what's been going on.
He did not say that. Go look at what he just.
Whatever. that ain't what I'm gonna call it.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I would call it something else, you know. So you don't want my opinion. No, you don't want my opinion for that one. But yes, we're gonna get it started. And then we have some guests that might be coming on and with us tonight too. So we're getting a rough start, but it's gonna get in there. So y'all hang tight with us tonight. Come on in the chat tonight. And you know what? I need to do it early our whole Twitch thing. I'm going to make sure that I put that in right away too, so that people can start going over and viewing us on Twitch. So I'll put that in early tonight. So let's see. I see Margo is coming on in the house right now. Hey, Margo.
Hey everybody, how's
Hey,
it going?
Margo.
Hey.
Uh,
So everybody's
Thank
coming on. I
you.
told you, everybody's coming on in that party all late. All well, I guess everybody is pretty much a southerner. So maybe that's what
Yeah,
it is.
Had to
It's,
get a drink before we sauntered in, you know.
yeah.
okay. Okay, cool. So I'm like here and ready. I'm trying to look at a couple things on my phone. I see that we do have um I do see we have a couple people coming in as guests, and so I just wanted to just look at their message. Yes, some answer to yes. Okay, let's get back to y'all. What happened on your weeks? Now, Shannon, you've been gone for weeks, so we're gonna start with you. You've been gone for some weeks now, and tell us how was Detroit and how you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I've got a couple of in-person interviews, like 3 of them next week, and then I
Oh,
have a fitting for my dress for the fashion show on the 14th.
okay.
So I've got a feels like everything is like bam, you know. Um,
Uh huh.
but I worked on these huge paintings while I was out in Detroit with
Oh, we
Stephen.
saw it on IG. I was
Yeah,
like, damn, that was big.
yeah, they're huge paintings.
Yes, that's nice.
Good. Nice.
Loving it. Loving that.
We did that one and another one in 2 weeks. It was insane. So it was literally like um, sleeping for 4 hours, up for 10 hours, sleeping for 3 hours, up for 7 hours. Like it was a very weird
Okay.
sleep cycle while we were out there. But it
Wow.
was a lot of
So,
fun. The art show was a huge
mhm.
success. I'm so proud of
Okay.
him. Like his talent is insane. And I was so like it's definitely been a gift to be able to be a part of that situation. It was definitely one of
Wonderful.
those when you sit back and you're like, wow, this is a life-changing experience. I feel like it was definitely one of those.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. Really glad to hear that, and that you had a great time and that the art show went well as well.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. And I'm glad to have you back too. Glad to have you back.
I
All
missed
right.
y'all.
Missed you. All right, Margo, go. How's your week? How you doing?
Week, it's just been a long one. It's just been a very long one, and it seems like there's some good things that happen, but it's
Mhm.
been a little heavy. I don't want to share too much to get anybody down, but when you get the notice to your coworker actually being sick and is gonna have to be out for a few weeks, it's like,
Right.
oh man, so that means I gotta step up
Hmm.
and
Oh
do the lead,
wow.
which is fine, but it's
Okay.
still like, who
Uh
who
huh.
you gonna send to help me though? Like, are you gonna
Right.
send help? I just need somebody gonna
Right.
send help. So yeah, not that
Okay.
I can't do it. It's a whole lot better with some help.
Okay.
And besides that, just been birthday party after birthday party, and running into old friends, which is good. But yeah, just that's pretty much been my week.
Well, it was Libra season. I mean, I know it's Scorpio season now, but it was Libra season, and there was so much going on in Libra season. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry for those of you who are not Libras. I'm so sorry.
It's some
So we,
changes that happen out there, the full moons and whatever else is something going on.
Have y'all seen how big the moon is getting? So is the new moon going to be a super moon? Like,
I,
when it's
something. I keep
Yeah.
hearing different things. I need to get an update on that. I do need to get an update on what the new moon is going to be like, because I know one guy who talks about it all the time, but I didn't get a chance to hear his report this week at all. So I don't know. But that other moon, oh, it's the other night when I saw that, what did they call it? A hunter's moon. That thing was beautiful. It was
Mhm.
huge and low. And I'm like, really? really? I'm standing there just looking. And, you can't take no picture. The pictures turn out like crap. And so I always try, to have something, but it never turns out right. It never
You gotta
turns
have
out
one of
right.
those big telephoto lenses. Like,
Right.
Yeah, you gotta
Exactly.
have
Something
the
better than that. Right. But
Loose.
we can see turn him loose, but I don't know if he can see us because the way he looks. But but we can see. We can
I
see.
can't hear shit.
you can't hear shit.
Okay.
Can't hear nothing.
But we
I'm
can
gonna have to
see.
try some other stuff here. Oh shit.
Well, in
It
the
ain't even
meantime,
been 20 minutes. It's
I
under 20
know.
minutes and we already Kurt.
Right. Ain't been here
Veronica,
2 minutes.
right. But Veronica, how was your week?
Well, we don't want to talk about my week, so I don't want to get nobody down.
Boo. Yes, we do.
No.
Yes, we do. We all
She
Well,
has some very sad news.
My other half found out that his cancer did come back, and they gave him 6 months.
Oh,
So sorry to hear that.
yeah.
That's how my week
Still,
has been. Huh?
I say still be hopeful though. Don't close the
Yeah,
door.
God has
Just,
miracles.
we're trying to get through with it. We try to make each other laugh and stuff and whatnot, because he
Y'all
likes to
decided to
quote.
plan any trips?
We're planning in January. February. The family's gonna come to us. They got a lot of family in Texas, so he's gonna have all his family
Can't
come
hear
down here in
shit.
Texas, and have a big cookout and all that stuff. And
All right.
good.
Okay, I'm sorry, Veronica. Mike is still talking about how he can't hear us,
I see him.
Okay, that just
make sure y'all plan a trip. Do something that
I don't hear shit.
hopefully everything turns out better than expected. But definitely plan a trip to go do something that y'all
Woman,
always
I
wanted
hear
to
you
do
talking in my ear.
Well, his nephew and them,
And
they're going for Christmas. They're going to the beach for Christmas, so they're going to take him with him, and I want them to spend time with him. Then, all of them,
Right.
some of them,
But what about you? What about you and him? What are y'all gonna do together?
Hell's
We're
going
gonna do
on
something
here?
later, and as
Ain't
just a
hear shit.
couple. But he's gonna have family go. One, he's gonna spend time with this part of the family. Then it's gonna be me. There's gonna be another part of the family. There's gonna be somebody else, and then it's gonna be one-on-one with his son and grandson. So that'll be we're gonna.
Still don't hear shit. Can't hear shit.
He's in very good spirits. Very good spirits.
Okay,
Michael, we hear
that's
you.
important.
So.
That's important.
Y'all just keep us in prayer. Just keep us in prayer.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
yes, ma'am, we will.
Okay, Veronica. So sorry for that.
Am I
Very
delayed
sad
again?
news. I'm sorry?
Am I delayed again?
Oh, no, not really. You're not really delayed tonight. I don't think that happens to you until you get a certain number of people in here. And then it all changes. And then you all of a sudden, like 5 minutes later, So, but right now, so far, so good.
I think it has something to do with my internet too. So
yeah, because it's a little bit delayed now, but not as much as it gets. So it's all good. It's all good. Well, I know Mike is still trying to get on.
Got a little trouble.
Huh?
Mikey Pooh got a little trouble tonight.
Yeah, he's trying to get in here. He's trying to get in. So we're actually going to just wait and see what happens with him. And wait a minute. I think I see somebody else coming in the house here. Let's see who's going to get in here before I start talking about my week. Looks like we have Kal coming in, but I just want to wait until he is a little more settled, and I'll hit the button for him to come on in. But y'all, it's very, very, very interesting, and I see there's a lot of technical stuff going on. We're not having any bad weather here tonight, thank the Lord. But I do know of many who
Aren't y'all
do.
having bad weather?
Oh, we're not there, but here. But
Okay.
Cal, is that you driving there?
Yo, you know it is.
We see, yeah, we see a little glimpses of
Adventure for
you there.
Cal.
Yeah, yeah,
To see you in the dark. I see your beard.
yeah,
Uh-oh.
yeah. No
We got
doubt,
some
no
fire.
doubt, no doubt,
There you
no
go.
doubt,
He's
no
just gonna
doubt.
How
have
you
bull
doing?
fighting every now and then.
Yeah. How you doing, Cal?
I'm blessed, ladies. How you doing this evening?
Just
Doing
wonderful,
fine.
wonderful. Everybody's
Good,
arriving
good.
into the uh, living room, kind of slowly, but we're getting in here. We're getting in here. So we're expecting more folks in. I know LaMarcus hit me a little while ago. He's coming in, and so we're just going to see how all this is going to go. It's just like having a party at the house. People just arrive slowly into the party at the house. And
Yeah.
I'm one of those hosts where I am always like, okay, who's going to come to the party? I'm the same way. Who's coming to the party? Oh, who's coming? They didn't even call me. Oh, if they don't,
Oh,
if
you
they
get
don't
in your
call
feelings
me,
before anybody even show up.
yeah, because
You
I'm the
get in
party
your
one.
feelings before
Yeah,
anybody even get
yeah.
there. You already
Y'all be sitting there like,
mad.
I told them at such and such a clock. They're not here yet. Have you heard from them? Damn. Okay, better not even call me tomorrow. Better not even call me tomorrow.
Ew,
I tell
don't be
you,
like that. Ew.
that's how I do it when I'm at
That's that
my house
Libra.
parties
That's
when
that
I was
Libra.
young. But see, now the Libra thing is we are the life of the party, and we can bring the party down. You know, we are the balance of everything. So either we up and we high, or we could just take everybody and smash into the
That's what
ground.
I'm
But
saying.
that's
That's
not
that
Libra.
Libra that snap.
Yes.
Okay, so
That's
I got about
Right.
40. I got about 40 more days, and then it'll be Sagittarius. Sagittarius season. So
It's
yeah,
Sagittarius every day for me because my mom was the same. So that's every day.
yeah.
She said
And
every
bright.
day.
Yes, every day. All right, y'all. Well, you know what?
I'm gonna
My
turn
week
up
has
December
been
1st.
hi. You're gonna start December 1st. Whatever, man.
Yes,
My week was pretty busy, just like last week was very busy having 3 shows last week. This week was very busy having 3 shows this week. You know, Wednesday night we had the ladies mother-daughter ish here, and I enjoyed being on with them. And then last night we had the man himself. Let me see if I can pull up the picture here. There he is. We had Michael Collier was in the house, and he did the thing. He had me rolling. I have to go
he is
back
funny.
now. Yes, he's hilarious. I have to go back. I haven't had time to go back and to listen to the interview again, but there were some things in there that he just had me rolling. And I just said, take some time this weekend to go back and hear it again because whatever he said about chasing money, I can't remember it, but it's just like it had me going. And then he had other things, and he talked about his addiction, and then
And
he told
all
me
of
he
us
said, "You can
going
laugh, don't you?" Yeah,
laughing.
he was making jokes in the middle, even talking about his addiction, and then he's like, he paused and he said, "You would have laughed, don't you?" And I was like, "I don't," but it's just so damn funny what he was saying, and I ended up having to laugh and I had to get back serious again because he is really hilarious and it was a
He was
blessing
a
to have him.
terrible hot mess.
Yes, he is
He
a
was a funny
terrible
hot mess.
and so I'm going to shout him out again to Michael Collier to make sure that you check him out, his Michael Collier morning show. I watched this morning on YouTube, and you know he has the other his mama's one man show and all the things he has going on too. So special thanks to him as well as the ladies from Mother Daughter-ish for being on this week. And I'll tell you all at the end of the show who we have coming up next week because the Soul Spotlight shall continue. But I'm not doing 3 shows next week because the 3 shows is a lot. Uh-oh.
Can
He's
y'all hear
sprinting.
me?
Can he hear
Yes.
We've
anything?
been able to hear
Yes.
you the
Ah,
whole
okay.
time.
Well, I
Yeah.
Yeah,
couldn't
we
hear
can
shit.
hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we
can
know.
tell. You kept
We know.
Yeah, I
saying it.
couldn't hear
I
shit.
kept, and I kept muting you because I kept saying, I know he don't hear us, but we hear him. And I
Oh,
kept
I
muting
couldn't
you.
hear. Yeah, I couldn't hear a damn thing.
And so,
See,
well, now that you're
I'm
in
gonna be
here,
I'm gonna be looking like you, like I'm sitting here trying to do this phone, trying to do these headphones and the Bluetooth. I'm all like this here. I don't think I ain't got no glasses. Be looking at my chair like this. Here.
you're
I'm
trying to
trying to
beat
figure
me.
out what's going on. Yeah. So,
Oh,
but yes,
okay.
Michael
Well, you
Collier
know,
was hilarious.
yeah, that was
Yes,
hilarious and
he was
grateful to
hilarious.
have one. Thanks for being in the comments last night. You and Veronica and Rick, thank you all for being in the comments last night.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Michael, how was your week?
Man, my week was I barbecued like 3 times this week. Like I was I was on
It's a
that
lot of work.
pit.
That's a lot of smoke.
Yeah, so
Well, this is a big
uh
week for you. This is the first week as Michael Russell.
right. No
Wasn't
more
so young.
no more master sergeant. I'm a civilian again.
Oh,
Yeah. So I spent the time barbecuing, and then got a neighbor around the corner who actually has his own lawn care business. So um you know what I'm saying? So kind of getting back to my roots, my old working man roots. You know what I'm saying? That old country life. So
all
kind of just
right.
picking his brain and getting some things done. You know, seeing what it's like to be back. You know, on the working side as far as being country. You know
All
what I'm
right.
saying? And then still again just chasing the whole 501(c) paperwork that we submitted, man. Just kind of hoping that stuff come back approved and
Right.
you know, hopefully we can kind of take off with the whole Turn 'em Loose Foundation and that's just the nonprofit side of it. I still got the LLC. We still got the LLC.
Right.
So we just, you know what they call it, a slow boogie. You know what I'm saying? A little slow
Gotcha.
boogie. Yeah. Hold on. I got the, you know, it is slow boogie. You know what I'm saying? Mm, ah,
You ain't got the house shoes on though.
the house shoes.
Oh
The
yeah.
house. I know. You know house
Top it
shoes.
off.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
Oh
got
my
bad
goodness.
weather on the East
What?
Coast. Bad weather on the East Coast.
I'm on the East
Yeah.
Coast. It's just not here. We're having just a little bit of rain earlier today, just drizzly, but for the most part, we're not getting it right. I think tomorrow is going to be our day to have more of that. So not looking
Mm-hmm.
forward to it, but it's a little chilly, and I have fall fever still. So I love the fall. This is my favorite season. All right, y'all
You
ready
love the
to go
fall,
in?
huh? You need to
I love
stand
the
up. You
fall.
know, shouldn't be falling.
You got a
Right?
topic?
Dude, I love to
Oh
fall.
my god.
You know
Ah,
something, and I should never speak on that because I haven't taken a fall in a while. You know, like that's something that has happened. Like we have family members, like my mom and my sister. She was a faller too, and they would have like their seasonal falls, and nobody. Well, my sister's deceased now, but my mom isn't falling. Thank the Lord, and I hope that I won't take no falls. I won't get in and have one of those trips as
I
well. Now that I'm
literally
running my mouth about it.
I
you
literally
know,
just fell less than 2 days ago. I had my
Okay, hell.
shoebox. I had my shoebox sitting over here at the end of my couch, and I got up and stepped on it with the end of my heel, and like I lifted my foot up, but my other foot wasn't planted yet, and I did one of those cartoon whoop, 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 in my socks, and but my feet went this way and my body went this way, and I went bam. And Steven is on the phone with me, and he goes, "What was that?" Like something
It
got
was
thrown across
me.
the house. And I was like, no, that was my body hitting the floor.
Right. So that was me. Oh man. Well, hopefully Shannon is the only one out of this group that's taking a fall. Okay.
I'll take one for the team.
Or take one for the team. All right, y'all. It's time to sip some tea. You know what? I have a few stories from last week that I'm just gonna follow back up on again. Remember the whole guy, the J Balvin guy who had the music video about the dogs on leashes, and and he had
Yeah.
the black women on the leash. Well, that fool, I'm just call it what it is. That fool
Okay.
just
I
had to
thought the free park area,
apologize.
the free park is around the other
You know.
side. Put
I
the
hear some other voices. Okay, I hear some other voices.
3 sedans right there.
I am going to put somebody
Where
Right,
on
all the way
mute.
over there.
I think it was cute. I mean, Cal, I went ahead and put him on mute. Okay, Cal, I put you on mute. Okay, Jay Balvin, well, he had to go ahead and he had to apologize because of the backlash that he had received. And, this is what he said. I want to say sorry to whomever felt offended, especially to the Black community. Whomever felt
Wow,
offended.
he did their makeup and everything.
Yeah.
Was it, and like he didn't walk
Oh,
any other women on leashes, just these 2 black women?
To Black
That's
women.
it?
Mhm. Yep.
Wow. Wow, you
And that
ballsy out in
was,
these streets,
yeah.
boy.
he's dumb out in the streets. Because that was just dumb. This is dumb.
Let me ask a
This,
question. Let me ask y'all a
yeah,
question.
what's that?
Did he force them women to get on that leash?
It
No,
don't
he didn't
matter.
apologize. No, he didn't apologize. He said, "I'm truly sorry that people felt offended."
Oh, I'm gonna say, cause them grown
I
ass
was
women
getting
got on
ready
that
to
leash.
say, but I'm really
Hmm?
going to say everything is not an apology.
He
Yeah.
said it was very conceptual. If you, as a creative, have a song that's talking about dogs, you're going to create that world. That was not an apology.
Yeah, it's not an apology. And the thing is,
No.
I understand what you're saying, Michael. Yeah, some people make really bad and stupid decisions, but when there's something that goes along with that, if I decide I want to go out and I want to paint my ass something, and I want to put in my ass, and I put something there, and people see me as a Black woman out there, it's not just me and my ass that's painted out there. They're going to look at me as my community. There's a responsibility these days where people want to be more PC about some things, or some things it's just a very sensitive time. You cannot put a Black person on a leash or a
A
lynching
chain of
something around
any
there, a
sort.
chain, anything, and think that it's going to go well. It's just not the time for you to even consider
Yeah.
thinking about something for your own creative concepts, no matter what. It's
So
just,
guess what? Then take away the First Amendment, because your freedom of expression has just been violated. Now,
they've already taken it away.
y'all heard me say time and time again on this show,
Mhm.
100 people can be wrong and one person can be right. But because that one person that's right is outnumbered by 100 wrong people, the 100 people will then be right in their mind and will now say that the one person who was right is actually wrong.
But
And it's
the
all about numbers. So you basically have a society, cancel culture, that does not agree with something and then will sit there and say that person is wrong. Well, that's their interpretation of wrong, or what's the definition of wrong? You see what I'm saying?
I'm not
And the only
looking at it
reason I
from
say
that.
that,
where is Tiana when you
Uh-huh.
need her? Because she
the,
really
the
just
only
explained that real good a couple weeks ago.
right,
Right?
but the only reason I say that, because a lot of us on here are artists. We consider ourselves
Mhm.
artists. The whole
Mhm.
turn them loose mantra, right? The whole turn them loose mantra is to unlock your potential to not be confined and or restricted, you know what I'm saying, or held down by societal views. Freedom of expression. As an artist, if I sit there and tell you, Shannon, that what you're drawing or what your paintings are is wrong and it's offensive, and 100 of us get together and start canceling out your artwork, are you wrong?
I mean, that it's a completely different statement. You can have your freedom of speech, but you don't get to choose how it affects other people. That's the clause of freedom of speech.
Okay, those people have a right to feel offended or whatever the case may be. They voice their opinion to whomever, but that does that person necessarily owe you an apology for doing something that they thought was created for them, and then all of a sudden you find it offensive, and so now they owe you an apology? If you don't like what they did, don't support them, don't look at it, don't follow it.
Let me trump you. and pun intended, let me trump you on this one. The
Yeah,
mantra
go
for
ahead.
our lives right now should be and is, we're going into a new era of life. Like I mentioned, 5-dimensional. The whole mantra is do no harm.
But take no
Plain and
shit.
simple. Yep.
I'm only
And so
I'm
that's
only
harm.
y'all know I'm gonna play devil's advocate, but I mean I
Right.
just asked
I
that
know.
question,
Right.
right? Because I don't trust me. There are some things that I look at and I'll be like, man, that's crazy. I wouldn't have done that, right?
Right.
I have those moments, but when I try to, this whole new place of peace thing, trying to view things from both sides, I can see how one person may be like, well, if you don't like my work, then don't follow me, don't look at me, don't support me. But I mean, to create a whole movement.
But
It's
your freedom stop when they encroach on someone else's. And I
Says
think that's the whole point of this, is that his freedom of speech is encroaching on other people's rights.
So a group of people that feel that particular action or expression is offensive because some other people may agree with it.
Well, I mean, you could put up the same argument if you have someone, and I don't want to.
No, I know where you're going. I know you
about how I phrase this, because I don't want to compare this to animal abuse. Like, I don't want to put like this in the same genre. So I want to be very clear that I'm not comparing, walking women on leashes of any color, but especially POC women and animal abuse. I'm not putting those in the same category, but it's the same. You see such a fight for animals who are getting killed online. Right. Like, you have a whole documentary on Netflix that
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Cats,
Must love cats or something like that, right?
So if we have that much of an outrage and reaction to animals being done in this manner, we should have the same reaction to this type of display of imagery, especially when it's like, when you're there. If you are doing a music video on dogs, how about instead, if you really want to walk women on leashes, like that's something
really
to do. Like, you're just like, no, it has to happen. Then how about we include more than just one color of woman? Or how about we use actual dogs?
So here's my question, though. Yeah. I mean, because I understand it's the same thing with
really try to be patient. Okay, good.
No, it's the same. I get it, right? It's the same thing with blackface, right? Right. Now, my question would be, this is a reaction because there were black women on leashes. Imagine the outcry or whether the backlash if it had been a black man with white women on leashes.
Oh, then you got Karen talk about some reverse racism. Don't you know what reverse racism is?
Oh, it would have gone crazy. It would have gone crazy completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so like I totally understand it. Yeah. And I'm, like I said, I'm not advocating for this gentleman. I'm just looking at, like, remember that one episode we had about the people in the park on the playground?
Oh yeah, And they were
remember that?
Sharing the videos you found for me, the girl who liked to be a 5-year-old and all that.
Yeah. Right.
That's the first thing I thought of when you were like, "Oh, it's a fetish thing." But then he actually he went as far as to dress them up. Like, he didn't dress them up like it was a fetish. Like, he literally made these women into dogs, and so that makes it seem like, oh, okay, cool, we're past 20. I got these bitches on a leash. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it turns into for me.
Yes,
is like,
it does.
Oh, well, don't worry, I got the bitches in my community on a leash. You know what I mean? Bitches in my community.
Okay, so it's the I guess unintended message, or intended depending on the person, but it's
I'll say this: there is a very negative portrayal of Black women by some individuals in our world community.
Right.
They have portrayed Black women as being loud, angry, promiscuous, and something with being on a chain, kind of on a leash, falls right in line with that. So that's where the offenses are for me on a personal level. But on a worldwide level, if they can take away your First Amendment, that you can't even come on a platform like this and speak about CV and V and inoculations and stuff like that, then you should not be allowed to come on any platform and have someone on a leash. That's where I kind of look at it.
Got it.
Well,
I got
especially
it.
that type of depiction. It like if the person, if you bring a waiver and you're like, they signed this waiver to be on a leash, I mean, and it's like in the BDSM community, like it's a different thing, but it's the fact that he did not dress this up as if it was any type of fetish, the fact that he singled out women of color, and the fact that he put them not only on a leash, but a chain leash.
Right.
That speaks to many metaphors that he's trying to portray just in that scenario.
Right. So,
and to me,
next. Oh, go ahead.
I'll just say this. I don't like when people give the apology of, I'm sorry that you feel a certain way. That's not an apology. And so his apology was very similar to that. It was, I'm sorry that you feel this way, not I'm sorry for my action. So to me, in my opinion, he's still on the shit list. I mean, I don't know how y'all want to lay it out, but
yeah. So all right, so let me ask this next question. I'm gonna leave it alone, and I only ask questions to spark conversation, right? Like I said, I ain't even seen the video, to be honest with you. So I'm just going off of what I'm hearing, right? So what if, or should he have catered whatever his thought pattern was to a particular audience? Would it have been different if it was only showed and viewed by a private audience who was into that type of thing?
No, the problem is that it's only women of color. It's not dressed up to look like a fetish at all. It's dressed up to look like these women are actual dogs. And it's the type of leash that you put them on. Like, and it's the environment that you have them in, that you are the one in control. And there's like, he's got them in like this kind of shitty environment. Like it looks kind of like, from the videos or the short clips that I watched, it looks kind of like a trap house. So you're not only putting these women below you, you're saying,
I gotta say this. See, Shannon know about some damn leashes, and if she's offended, y'all better take heed.
I like being put on a leash, and I don't like
that's
this.
Right. And if she's offended, then y'all better take heed. That means that it's something wrong with it. The end. Okay.
I'll take the word for it. I'll be LeVar Burton. You say don't take his word for it, but I'm going to reverse that, and I'll take your word for it.
I'm over here doing my selfish, y'all.
Yeah, okay. You ain't slick. She said.
Yeah, I don't even hide it no more. Because in the middle of the show, I do posting all the time. It's something that I do all the time. So we're gonna leave Mr. J Balvin where he is and his mess. You still didn't apologize. I still think you crap for crap, and we're moving forward. All right. The Wendy Williams show now. How many people
I ain't got no people in this house to deal with this bad-shaped woman and her ugly ass opinions.
she went slam off. Okay, let me just say this, that they're saying Williams will not return to her talk show amid serious complications from Graves' disease.
Oh, damn it.
Okay, so that she's using this as these complications as a direct result of Graves' disease of her thyroid condition, and it's been determined that more is needed and is able to return hosting. Blah, blah. And I know that she's had different people. I've watched Whitney Cummings hosting for her. I've watched Leah Remini, people like that hosting for, I think Sherry Shepherd's coming in next week. And while I'm on that, let me go ahead and just tell you this next thing, and we can discuss the two together. Because the ratings have fallen, which I think is the craziest thing, that they waited so long to make a decision. The Wendy Williams show is offering $75 cash reward to audience members, as a source tells that the viewership has waned. Okay, now the debut was on October 18th, and that the sources are saying that they're desperate right now, and they're paying people $75 to show up to the show, non-union audience members, to help fill up the studio. And I think it was a week that Whitney Cummings was there this week, and so it's just that kind of bad that they're doing that. Oh, hold up. I see we have a guest coming in.
Like
have a guest coming in. Have a guest. Hey, La! Ladies and gentlemen, let's deviate from my talk just now. Introduce Leighala Jimenez-Hall. That is my manager, Leighala J. She's producer and talent manager of the show as well. So, La, what's going on? Oh, wait, let me give it like Leighala's resume real quick. Leighala has been in the industry for a long time as well. I met her just after she was working with Charlie Wilson in the Gap Band, and she's done. I know that's the wrong word to say. She has worked with so many people from I know, right? Gilbert Glenn Brown. I mean, she's worked with so many people, and so when she's not hanging out with Sharon Stone, she's talking to me on the phone and hearing me whine. So, what's up, Leighala? Welcome in.
Hey everybody, how are you?
Hey,
Cal.
good evening. Good evening. You have to unmute. You have to unmute. There we go. He's unmuted.
Come on, Leighala.
Hey.
Yeah,
So, and I see more people coming in too. We got more. Thank you, Leighala, coming in. Welcome. You got anything you want to say as you coming in the door?
I am coming in and I am going on to the YouTube page. Everybody join me in liking this episode and other episodes. So I'm gonna go in right now and I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna share it with 2 people, and then I'm already subscribed. So I'm gonna get all that done. But how's everybody doing tonight?
We chilling, we vibing and chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I see that Cookie has come on there. Hey, Cookie.
I'm sorry for the delay. I had some technical difficulties with the camera and stuff.
All right, no problem. You in here, girl. You in here. Welcome to the forum. You know what? I'm just still kind of chopping it up on the whole thing, the topics right now. We were just talking about Wendy Williams, y'all. Now, I know they say it's her grave disease, but I have also heard is her addiction that she is back in rehab. So I don't know the whole thing, but when you hear Tasha K goes in. Tasha K said that girl is back in rehab, and I don't know, but that's the word on the street. That's what's going on. So
it sounded like karma to me, and it sounded like she ran her mouth too much, and it sounded like people got tired of hearing her run her mouth, and that's just how I feel about it.
Tell them how you feel, Shannon. Tell them how you feel.
I can't stand her at all.
Okay, right. Well, you know what?
Whether you like her or not, she has, she's been a big part of our culture for a number of years, and that's what she came in to do. I mean, to upset the apple cart. And right now, I think that she just really needs our prayers, because she's a human being, but she really just needs our prayers. That's what she needs right now, regardless of whether it's her Graves' disease or whether it's addiction. She just really needs our prayers.
I've been a fan off and on. I've been up and down with her, because there's sometimes when I look at her situation and I say to myself, Wendy, get out of them people's business. And there's other times when she does inform me of some things. So I have been, kind of like that with Wendy, but I'm like this, just tell the truth. Just tell the truth, y'all. Somebody say, tell the truth, shame the devil. What's the term, the thing that they used to say?
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Yeah, so just whatever it is. So, I actually welcoming y'all here. I have more stories that I want to do. I've got to pull them now because this caught me as a surprise. I didn't think that I was going to be so quick to get rid of some of the other shows. Leighala told me about this earlier. La was talking about the engagement with Shantae Moore. So Shantae's got a new man, Steve BT executive. I heard that Shantae Moore got a new man and they're engaged and all that.
They've been friends for a long time. And finally, friendship turned into love. And so that's where they are right now. So wishing them all the best.
Yeah, that was a little shocking to me because I don't know what I thought. Maybe after her with Kenny Lattimore, I just thought she had a type that it would be, some type of artist type of dude. I just didn't see that one, but more power to her. Whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat. That was just different.
They say love comes in all kind of forms, shapes, and sizes, and there's no
Yes.
one set type of love. But when it hits you, and you just follow your heart. You follow your heart.
And it hit you.
I guess so, because I didn't see that one coming. Am I frozen over there with y'all? Because I'm frozen over here.
I think it's that time. I think it's that time of night that happens in Atlanta. That you said that happened. Y'all know she say that. She say that every show. She say it's the time of night and wherever she at. Everybody logging on right now. That's what's going on. Everybody logging on.
I'm telling you, some people doing some freaky stairs, nigga freaking doing some things. That's probably what's costing me my internet. I'm over here trying to do a show, and somebody over there doing some freaking nigga stuff somewhere. But you know what? I actually wanted to this story here. Now, I'm not very familiar with thing that he's heard about this. With the artist Young Miami, she has upset some people. Song freaks.
Who upset who?
He does a lot of Young Miami, and the song is called "Rap Freaks," and she is Nate.
You're cutting out. Okay, Young Miami.
Yeah. You got to go back something with some Miami. Go back somebody else.
Okay, Young Miami. Yeah, "Rap Freaks" is the name of the song, and she has name dropped 14 social media hysteria, and she mentioned names like Diddy, Moneybagg Yo, Meek Mill, and one of the lines of the song she says, "Everything we do is on the low. F social media. I want to take a Dirk. F him in India, Durkin." And in another one, she says, "Sit on Megan's face, ride it like a stallion.
Okay.
Trying to go on baby. If I could F them both, that'd be crazy. Future need to come and find this P. Like he Dora, real hood bitch. I ain't nothing like Lori." He talking about Lori Harvey, I guess. So she has just gone in, and a lot of them have been responding to this whole thing. And I'm just saying to myself, I'm like, some of them, they're upset because naturally nobody wants to be named out and things like that. But I don't understand what the whole thing is about it. Somebody is giving you a shout, even if it may not be the shout you want, but they're still giving you a shout, still telling you you're still relevant. Do y'all agree, or do y'all feel that it has to be something positive and uplifting?
I want to know who did what to her to make her write this song. I want to know what happened.
What's the inspiration?
Right.
I want to know what happened.
Look here.
There's a story behind this song.
Just like they do with little kids. Kids want positive attention, but if they ain't getting the positive attention, they act out and they don't care what kind of attention they get. So positive attention is good and negative attention is good. If you're into likes and people following you and being all in your business, if you want attention, that's attention. But some going on, like they say, they wouldn't be saying this for nothing. So somebody did something, and if they getting mad about it, then the truth hurts, don't it? A hit dog or hot.
Was she saying?
So somebody did something, and if they getting mad about it, then the truth hurts.
And I hear somebody.
Let's go into that story.
So somebody turn that sound down. Turn your sound down. Someone got the sound up. So turn your sound down. Okay.
I felt like whatever we said must have really been important because it had to repeat.
Yeah, it repeated the whole thing. But you know what? Here's what she said. Now she said, in her view. Okay, can y'all hear me? Or am I breaking up? Okay. Okay. I think that was La. In her view, she said the song is showing love to all rappers right now. It's nothing personal. She said, I named a bunch of guys who are on top. That's hot. That's popping. Nothing is personal. Nothing is literal. I'm just having fun. That's
Hmm.
what she says. I ain't mad at her. You know,
Stir up the pot a little
having
bit, get
fun.
everybody to tune in.
Actually, she could have gone and done like what's our girl out of Dallas? What's the girl out of Dallas who was in the industry? La, you know who I'm talking about. She's ratting out everybody. She goes in hard on Jill Scott and Mary J. Blige. What's her name? Dang, it slipped from my mind. She was
Oh,
with
you
the
got to
Roots and
unmute it.
everything.
Take
She used to
off of
perform
mute.
with the
Take
Roots.
off of
Not
mute.
okay. I'm gonna take
Because
you
she was
off
saying something. She was
mute,
responding.
Let's see. She was with
Oh,
the
you got to
Roots and
unmute
everything.
it. Take
She used
off
to
of
perform
mute.
with the
Take
Roots.
off of
Not
mute.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Leighala, turn your sound down. Turn your sound down. Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's a little better because you were repeating to it. That's what I was repeating to us. But who is the girl
Yeah, I turned
again?
my sound down.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
if anybody's on multiple platforms, like whether they phone or YouTube or whatever, whichever device they have, probably need the volume probably need to be set down.
Right,
Am I
that's what I
better?
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to completely mute your other stuff. But what's the
Okay.
girl's name? We have talked about it before. I said I wanted to interview her, and you said maybe not. She lives in Dallas. She was married. I mean, she used to perform with the Roots. You know her. She know everybody. She rats everybody out from Diddy to Mary J. Blige. Everybody.
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
Oh God.
What's her name?
Right?
Her name
What's that again?
is
Jaguar, right?
Jaguar.
Yes. Jaguar. Yes.
Jaguar.
Jaguar. Now Jaguar be going hard on these
I could
fools.
see her. I
She
just
goes
couldn't think of her name. Yeah.
Yes,
Jaguar.
and that's what she
I
be
did.
doing too. She goes real hard on people.
Yes, she
So the
does.
thing
Just
is,
coming
and
in
so
on
I'm
Alicia
saying with
Keys and everybody.
right, and so at least Young Miami's not doing anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
So she may be doing something that they don't like so well, but she's not doing anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm going to move on. Then I got to post. I need to go ahead and post on IG because I need to pull us up. So I'm going to do that in a moment. But I wanted to bring this other story out there. Now, this story, and I'm only going to do just a couple more stories, and we're going to go to the living room. I got to be careful with this story because we know I can't talk about the V word, the inoculations, the jabs. So I'm going to say, I'm going to just say the jab. Okay, they don't want us to go into any detail, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, with this particular story, Ice Cube has exited the film Oh Hell No. It's a comedy because he turned down taking the jab. And with that, they're saying that it's costing it's a film with Jack Black, and it's he was set to make $9 million for the Hawaii set film, you know, in that role. And he gave him the deuces. And he says, you're not going to make me do that, I guess. And that's all I'm going to say about the details without going into any more on there. But just kind of what do you all feel about that this person decided to miss that payday and stand up for what they felt was right and not decide to do the film.
Money is not what is going to move everybody. It moves the majority of people we know. But right now, from the beginning of how it was delivered to the world, even from the procedures and the information that they're giving out, the dialogue from the health administration, from government, from different countries, watching what people are doing and what people are going for, it's so much inconsistency. To know how people feel about having something that is an artificial implantation into your body, not just, you know, like how they said about how, you know, how the details, we talked about that the last show. It's a lot that you got to let people have their free will. Now, with that being said, if you're saying that this does not cure it, but it just makes it more likely that you will be able to live through it because it doesn't stop people from having it to have it again, and it's more like a cold, and it's something that's going to be repetitive, it's going to be always changing and mutating. So you're not telling people that's guaranteed that anything that you're putting in them is not going to affect their life cycle, lifeline, or time anything different than this would. So you gotta give people that free will of it. What people are doing, they're forcing certain people of the population to do it. And when you do that, that's understandable, but everybody's not. Then it's going to fade out like everything. And then are these people going to have to do with the ramifications? Because if you believed in your vaccine, you would say, you don't have to sign this waiver to come back to work, that you can't blame us, you can't sue us. So for him, it's about people protecting and seeing how they ride it out. And it's their choice. If we go to a hospital and you choose not to have surgery, they will give you that choice, but you're still in the hospital. Now, with other diseases, I know people saying about how it's done, but America, we did a lot of things backwards with it for such a long time. And you still got people that are not taking it, and they are leaving certain populations and certain demographics alone. So to force someone's hand, it just shows that he believes in whatever he believes in. And I thought that was all what America was about, because I don't think that we need to stop at just a vaccine. There's so many other things that we could do. There's people that go back to that one question when it first came out, and they said we had to wear a mask and it's protecting your nose and your mouth. They said, well, what about our eyes and our ears? Because, you know, ear, mouth, you know, throat, all of this is connected. So how can it go in here and not here? And then people had all these questions. It could go in my eyes, but not in here. So people had all these questions and nobody was able to answer them correctly or effectively. So that's my only issue, because I know a lot of my friends and people I know that don't in different countries as well as here. And I give everybody that right, because they're still doing the same procedures. You have people that have took the shot, but they're not doing the cleanliness, they're not doing the antibacterial and a lot of other things. So are they just moving it from other people, or are they getting it themselves? And I've seen people pass away from it. So it's a sticky situation, but free will means a lot more to some than money.
I think a lot of that stems from like the misinformation of what, you know, like the flu shot or something like that. It just because you get the flu shot doesn't necessarily mean you're not gonna get the flu. It just gives your body more of a fighting chance. So I think the thought that, you know, it's not common knowledge that this is an immune booster. It's not literally something that's going to keep you or prevent you from ever having. It's something to help you instead. I think that's where the education starts. And
it started for what they still haven't corrected that, like how you can break that down now. It's so many people that their television shows, their news media, their information that they're receiving through the placements on Facebook, Meta, or whatever. You have a certain dialogue that's getting to the people. Everybody's getting different information, and then it becomes a thing of trust. They're getting information from lines of communication that they trust. However, it's clear and concise. It should be where a child 5 years old, a 6-year-old can understand like a 80-year-old, you know, and they're not, when they make it difficult, we know in history, it's going to happen this time, but 20, 30 years from now, we'll see, well, these are the ramifications that happen because of the secret that they kept back. And this is why so many people die. And this is why there's other population they can control to die. You know,
well, I think
What
I think is that, you know, ultimately the question is, what do we think about Ice Cube deciding that he was going to step away from this film project? And, you know, regardless of how much money it was, it's his personal choice.
Right.
I mean, if he decided not to forego the jab, it may be the other people in his family, and it's a means of him being able to protect those people around him that have opted, you know, to make the same decision that he did. But at the end of the day, we do. I agree with Vicky. It is our free will, our personal choice, whether we decide to do it or we decide not to do it. And that was just his decision, regardless of the money. He felt that it was not enough money to
Risk.
that it could affect his family. So
So
you
what
know
are
that
you
that
willing
was
to?
the best
I
one for
think
him.
it's
I mean,
yeah. I think it's one of the things is what are you willing to sacrifice for your
right,
beliefs and for your cause?
right.
And for some, in his case, he's not hurting for nothing, so that's something he can walk away with and still be doing
Sure.
good. And for
Mhm.
others, they may be like,
Yeah.
man, that's 5 mil, like gee, go ahead, like you know what I mean, or whatever the case may be. But
Mhm.
it's when they people say selling selling your soul, I mean, they say that everybody got a price. But then when those instances where somebody walk away from a large sum of money and it's like, oh man, they crazy, they stupid, well, why they didn't do that, or whatever the case, why did they do that and why didn't they take it? Because some people can't be bought. Some people stand strong and stand firm in their beliefs or for their cause that no amount of money can make them do anything. And that right there is kind of like the same way that some people, I'm not taking it to a religious aspect, but some people have faith in their spirituality or their religious preference, and ain't nothing you can do that's gonna take them away from that. You know what I'm saying? No
Right.
amount of money can make them sacrifice themselves. You know what I mean? So I mean, kudos for standing up for what he believe in, and you know, let's see if that starts a trend.
Yeah, we're in
It is
California.
just, I mean,
California has we've got a lot of the mandates and guidelines are
Mm,
different than they are in other places, and so it is affecting people on different levels. Whether you're in the entertainment industry,
mm,
whether you're in the restaurant industry, whatever it is that you do, and people are making that choice. They're deciding what's good for me, what's good for my family. And so some people are deciding to do it and some people are saying I can't, whether it's nurses, because we have had those issues with nurses and doctors. And so I just think it is free will. And he made the best choice for himself. So
I have a question for you all, and I'm sorry I got to break it down. I just have to do this. Um, how many people are familiar that we have a major release of diseases every 2 years?
Yeah. They
Every
actually
2 years.
mentioned in
No, you're right.
you,
Yes,
he had to deal with it.
yeah,
that's the
I
that's
know. Because
right.
I mean,
That's a,
I just came back to being Mr. Russell from 22 years of active duty service. So
and
mhm.
eh,
they've given you
every
everything.
we get shots every year. You know what I mean? So
Right.
and some of it I'm like,
Exactly.
what the hell is Japanese encephalitis? Huh? You know what I mean? But I got a shot for it. I
Right.
got like six shots of anthrax, and every year we get a booster. Like, what?
Right.
Like
Mhm.
so that's so my thing about for me, I'm like, man, for 22 years I've been getting poked and jabbed with all kind of stuff. So if anything
Mhm.
was gonna happen or supposed to happen, it probably was done already. You know what I mean? So then what's one more? But then as I got educated, I'm like, hold up now. We talking about
Yeah.
something else, something new.
And
Everything
see,
else
that's
had
why.
years, had years to
Right.
circumvent and be tested, and one came out really fast. I don't know about that one, pimp. But either way, sorry.
We-
To get back to your question, I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? I basically, I mean, I'm just going to go with this and just say, and my words that I'm going to speak here are just to make people start thinking, because Cookie was saying earlier about the information that's out, and we have to start to look at the media. We know the media is controlled and owned and everything, so therefore there's things is designed to not give you everything. That's just a design. So we have to start thinking about stuff ourselves. And when you start thinking about stuff yourself, you have to say, when we were growing up, and I think I said this after the last part one, when we were growing up, remember anything that came along, we knew how to survive these colds, these flus. We made our immune systems healthy and everything. Do you all know that malaria is a larger problem than this other thing that has been circulated to us?
Mhm.
And the only reason why you don't know about it is because it was not circulated on the news. So therefore, it's what we have done as the people, the puppets, because people can raise hysteria with their words. And
Right.
that's some of what
Right.
happened, because every 2 years,
He or
we
she
have
who
something.
controls the media controls the mind. They control the public.
Well, we
Now,
have
if you
this thing.
remember, there was a lot of articles released reminding people when the last election was happening that when Donald Trump was having a delay of making it a certain urgency, and they said, and
Mhm.
they remember when they shut down the government, they shut down how everything operated, and people said, well, Barack Obama actually had 6 to 8 of these things on the same level or more, and how they handled it, and they talked about the book that most presidents add on, but then they pass down, and how he declined it. And it just shows that people didn't want to talk about there's a pattern of diseases and things that are happening on a larger scale. And when you look at global market, why are they doing certain things globally that they're not talking about, which is malaria is one of the issues. And
Right.
and then when you talk about the letting people understand how that the COVID-19, the first variant, the next variant, how they're similar, and is there any similarities from when it was is the last time they had something like this in 19, I think it's 21 or
18,
1918.
1918.
1918.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then remember
Mhm.
how everything happened the first year they documented, in the second year, and then it just dissipated. So the patterns that people are doing, because they said if you put it in a book, most people won't read it. So they've been
Right.
putting it down, but they haven't been speaking about it. And like Turn 'em Loose just said, hey, you can control the media, you control the minds. And they
Well, the
do
thing
control.
is,
And they
exactly what you
do.
said. They've done that because they even did that when you mentioned the presidents just now. They made one look really good and made one look really bad. But if you look behind the scenes, you'll find out what was really happening, who was on the dark side and who was on the light. And we are going to find that out in that storm because the storm is on the way.
See, like you're looking
Yeah,
at
Let me stop.
the best of two evils, or you got two people that are the
yeah,
same but just a little different. And I tell everybody, you're never gonna get it right. No one can never solve everything, but there's a reason why certain people don't be fair and decent. The word
Hey,
fair means
yeah.
a lot. A lot of people can't take being fair because then it
There's
becomes
a,
personal.
but I'm going
trying
to
to tell
say
you,
this.
Halloween different for adults now. See, these kids
You
running
know?
around here from ghosts.
Right.
We running
But we're going
around
to
here from
see.
needles.
Thank you. We're gonna see a lot of truth come out, and at that point, I fear for a lot of people their reaction to what they hear, because when it comes to the forefront of how this was a plan, I don't think it's going to go over so well.
Right.
Mm.
If you
But
if you want to know what I'm saying, then take some time to research the Good Club. Research the Good Club, find out the members of the Good Club, find out what they did, who was in it, and what they did to make a plan to control this population. And this was, when people they are going down and they're being taken down, and they have like a one last cry that they do to harm a lot of individuals. Kind of think and put your mind on that too, as you
Mm.
start to do your research, and you're going to find a lot of things out there. But we're going to move on from that one, because that one is
We're
that there's a lot
moving
of information
on,
that needs.
keeping strong. Don't you let them see you right. It's a groove thing. Y'all better get with
Okay,
it now.
Michael,
Come
there you
on,
go.
Holly.
But the
Hey,
Now we're
time
back
is coming
to the
where a
scene.
lot of things going to come out. Look at Margo talking about Michael in his song. But you know
hey.
what? I don't know what Shannon went, but you know what? I got one more thing I'm talking about before we move into the living room. And this one, this is local. This is local for the most part. If you've ever lived in Atlanta or familiar with Atlanta, then you're familiar with this lady. We lost a hometown hero this morning. Channel 2 WSB's Jovita Moore passed away this morning. She had her battle with brain cancer, and everyone was so hopeful that she would make it through it. But she died late last night, 7 months after being diagnosed with this aggressive form of brain cancer. And she's survived by her mother, wonderful children, and a stepdaughter. And she says those were her biggest accomplishments of life. And so we actually have her loved ones in our prayers. She was a staple for that station. So nice to see that sister over there doing the thing. And so we wish her loved ones the very, very best. All right, y'all. Y'all ready to go in the living room? Hey, Cookie, where LaMarcus at? What the heck did LaMarcus go
He's
to?
supposed to be at. No, we had a couple things that happened technically with the new equipment that was added. So he was doing the IT, and he's coming. He's coming.
Okay. Because we're going into this living room, and I just wanted to check before we turn this corner. And
we will be making it happen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm turning this corner. We're going to go on into this living room here. We're going to start talking about the 20 questions for the love. Oh, wait a minute. I think he's getting ready to come in now. I see his
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
We can't call him that, y'all. But I'm just waiting for him to come in for a second before I hit the button. No, I can just go on in. So here we go, y'all. We're going to go on into the living room. Let's go. Hello, y'all. Welcome to the living room. This is the main segment of the show. We have the forum where everybody comes together and we discuss a topic. And I'm going to need for everybody to take a breath, breathe in, and breathe out, because we're going in tonight. I don't want nobody sitting there talking about, I want to hear some hardcore stuff tonight, because you know how we do in this here platform. Let's go in. Don't be looking like you don't know, Michael. Let's get it, turn them loose.
Hey, I'm gonna chill. Be on my best behavior.
No, don't do that.
Be on my church behavior. Be on my church. I don't know church behavior. Church behavior is we see what happened in the churches.
Church behavior is different. Yeah, it's a little different than it used to be.
It's a little different nowadays.
So, tonight's subject, this is part 2 of 20 questions for the lovers. But you know what? Just in case you all didn't remember what went on in part 1, I got a little something just to remind you. About relationships, because that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
As long as you take the approach of you two versus the problem, then it never seems like you're on the other side of the table. And so then that communication lane becomes very healthy and very easy to travel.
Like putting on the water wood in your house and wondering why you got asbestos or mold in your house.
True.
30 years of my life, I had been in a marriage, whether I knew how to act or didn't know how to act.
How many people do you know though that are like, oh, I can't stand him, but that did like
everybody, men and women, and I have a lot of toys and stuff, but no toy can replace a man.
Okay, y'all, welcome back. Y'all remember all that? As we went into a lot of discussions, we were talking about the things that happen in relationships and questions in which, people don't necessarily talk about in a relationship, the things that actually end up separating two people who came together, whatever, the makeup of this union is, they usually are separated by some things when they just find out that they don't know a whole lot about one another. So if you remember last time, one of the questions that sticks in my mind a lot is when I asked you all, I said, if you could commit a crime, what would you can get away with it? I said, what would you do? And they all were kind of stopped on that because I really want you to really stretch your minds tonight because I feel the same way tonight about the things that when it comes to a relationship. Now, here's one. This is going to be a basic one just to start off with. Just a very basic question here. Should you have a best friend of the opposite sex? Or if you're in a same-sex marriage, the same sex as your partner or your whole union there. So should you have a best friend that could bring some type of drama? And let's say, I'm going to add some heat to this. You've been friends with this person for years. This is not just some Johnny come lately or Jill come lately. This is somebody you've known for a long time. Might have even grown up with them. Can you keep that friend when you go into that union? Tell me what you think.
Yeah, that's such an old school question. Like, if you, it breaks down to the person's self. Like, if there's that boundary there, like I have a bunch of homeboys. Like I'll let you know right now. Like I don't get along with a lot of women, but I get along with guys like crazy because I'm just one of those girls, and like I have a lot of homeboys that are just that. That's all they are, and you know the difference between you being my friend and me being sexually interested in you because they are football fields away from each other completely.
Right.
So it depends on your boundaries in your relationship, you as a person, and how much you respect your other person's boundaries, how much they actually trust you, and how much confidence they have in themselves to know where their footing is.
That's key right there, because I can tell you, and growing up in a household full of women, I saw the women in my family do some hey, so if people like, well, you got trust issues, you're damn right. Have you seen my grandma in action? You know what I'm saying? Have you seen my mama in action? So but what I'm saying is, growing up in a house full of women and watching them play the game like I would say like it's meant to be played. As a grown man, I'd be like, look, man, I done seen my grandma, I done seen my mama, I done seen my sister and my aunties. What make you different from them? And they raising me to be a man, to be somebody's husband, or to be somebody's, father and stuff like that. So what make you think I'm finna trust you when I done seen the women in my family in action? But I'll go back and wrap this up real quick. For me, I would have best friends that were females that pre-existed whatever relationship I was entering. And I would tell them, hey, we finna, go live, and we finna, get into this relationship, but these are my friends. And if you can't accept them, then me and you can't be friends. I mean, we can't go any further than what that is, because for me, I feel like somebody coming into my life trying to dictate who I can be friends with, I ain't finna have that. And that might be the wrong. I mean, like I said, I was young then, but I understand things now. But still, I feel like that's a friend. And if you trust me, right? Don't say, I don't trust females, but do you trust me? And if you trust me, then you should trust me not to take it any further than what it should be. And sometimes people are just that. You know what I'm saying? They are just friends, right? So I'll leave it at that. Let somebody else talk.
No, you were right. Like when people don't understand that how we gauge our assumptions about things is due to our past experience, reflections on how we perceive things that we saw or interacted or someone else dealt with. When you talk about a friend and you talk about someone you want to mate with, it tells where you are mentally also in your relationship. I'm not saying being stupid. I'm not saying any of your friends can have a weak moment, or you, or that someone on the street, but you have to look at the perception of where it was. Do you want to have a partner that can trust you? I tell you, you give what you receive. So
Mhm.
are you trustworthy? Now, with the friends, they introduce you to them. You can see. What people don't do is when they interact with your friend and they have a problem, they don't say this. Let me talk and voice my opinion in a way that's not threatening. Like, like, why'd you do that? No, just, well, why did you do that? Or why is this in front of all parties? Everybody do this. When you have a problem, you hold it in, then you tell your mate, then you still hold it in. You might reflect and say something, but you're holding it in. Stop. If you believe your partner and they believe you, then let them have friends. I think anybody good is going to have good people around them, as well as having people
Mhm.
bad. So if I don't like how she's moving or you moving, I'm gonna tell both of you. Now that could be a blessing and a curse. You might know what I'm looking at, so if you're doing something wrong, you're gonna try to revert it. But if you're doing
Mhm.
something right, you will understand. And people have to understand nothing is gonna be the way you want it all through with your friends or relationships or their friends. But be able to stand and understand their perspective. Now, if you say that's just friends, no problem. Because I have male friends.
Mhm.
Okay? So if I can trust you,
I
trust
got a
me.
question. Well, let me put a twist on this. What if
Twist it then. Twist it
your
up.
best friend, that's right, I'm twist this up. What if your best friend, like let's say
Don't play
for instance, it's I'm gonna twist this because this one was a girl, and I'm a girl, and that's my
Okay.
man. And this girl, though, you bring her close, and we know this goes on too. You bring this person close in, and this person knows all that's going on. But this person one day, oops, jumps over you and is dealing with your man because
Ooh.
you have already said this is my best friend and we're going to have to deal with this best friend. I'm not getting rid of my best friends. But one day, what if that best friend decides to jump over you and go over here and start dealing with your man and they develop some type of a friendship or if it goes further than a friendship? Are you comfortable?
Well, it
That's a,
shouldn't.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Miss Layla. I talked already. Go ahead, Mama.
Okay, so I think that what that is that you have to have that understanding. This is my mate, and you are my friend. There is something called respect in the relationship. Now, if that person says, "Oh, well, we're all cool. Let me go and spend some time with this person," that's not cool. So I mean, but
Mm-hmm.
anybody who's your friend, they're looking out for your best interest and they're not trying to hurt you. Those kinds of things hurt and they affect the relationship and the friendship. So yes, we
Right.
many of us have experienced that. I'm not a jealous person. So when it comes down to it, I have male friends and some of them I've had since high school. And my husband, he has friends, but we don't allow that to cross over those boundaries that we have. The respect is he knows that he's married to me. I know I'm married to him. And if this person comes in, it's up to that person to say, look, this is not cool. Now, I may not have to say to another woman that's a friend of his, I may not have to go to them and say, look, I mean, I think you're getting a little too close. You're like, you're jumping the lines. He may
Mm-hmm.
see that himself. And many times we do, but we kind of overlook that. He can come in and say, listen, you know what? That's my wife. And you're going to respect my wife. And
Right.
vice versa. If something happened on my end like that. And it has nothing to do with being jealous. It has everything to do with having that understanding in our marriage or in our relationship, that we understand that this is the most important thing. Those friends, it's okay to have friends as
Right.
long as they respect the union, because there are people who just for the sake of the fact that they're not happy, they can't keep a maid, don't have a maid, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
they'll try to create dissension between you and
True.
that person where there
Right.
is none. So you
Right.
have
And
to,
you,
so you can't be so focused on that's my friend, my day one since my A1 since day one. You can't come at that. You have to
Right.
be able to say, listen, I have someone in my life, and this is very, very important. Before you get to the marriage, whatever, and then you tell them, this is my friend. been friends a really long time. But if that friend says, you know, hey, look, I don't like this because y'all getting too close and I feel like I'm being left out,
Yeah.
then that's their problem.
But you gonna
Right.
feel that, yeah.
And it
You
has
gonna
nothing
feel
to
that
do with
tension,
you.
though. You gonna feel that tension before it even happened. And then, like,
Right.
if it's your friend, right? If it's your true friend,
Yeah.
they already
They're not going to feel like that.
right. They know what boundaries they know what boundaries need to be set, you know, hands down, because they know you and you know them. So they know
Right.
what you will and won't stand for, or they should,
Yeah.
right? And so on and so forth. And then I've seen it to where, like, right now, like I you know, I'm the small town country stuff where some, you know, this person and this person was dating, but then they break up, but then these two people hook up, and but then they marry somebody else who was dating this person, and then they all at a family reunion together or a party together. And you know that all of them used to date and got kids by each other, but they can still sit in the same environment and still function. Those are people who are confident with what it, you know, where they are and what it was. What was, and what is, right? What will be. But a lot of those situations, man, you set the boundary. So when somebody goes and, like, you, for your question, jumping over and start talking to somebody, number one, that, like, Miss Leighala, I'm sorry if I'm messing up your name. How you pronounce your name? Leighala. Miss Leighala was saying, right? So you already know that when they go to crossing over there, some of that stuff is probably already pre-coordinated. So when they going to jump over something, hey, I'm finna go eat over here. Well, girl, you told me about this. I'm gonna talk to him. Okay, go ahead. It's like a lot of stuff is already kind of hashed out and talked about. But a man know his wife or his gal or whomever, and vice versa, or a person knows their mate. Let me say that, right?
Right.
And so you already know what's gonna happen, and that's why people cut you off at a certain point. Hey, no, not happening. You got some people that fall weak, you know what I mean. But for the most part, you know what your spouse gonna take and what's not gonna take. At the end of the day, you gotta go home and you gotta live with that.
That's right.
And
well, first
I ain't finna sleep. I ain't finna sleep nowhere, even knowing I got guns in the house and somebody finna. That's not happening. I gotta sleep in that house.
Well, first of all, welcome to the chat. I know that's right, Michael. Welcome to the chat, LaMarcus. How you doing? Look at LaMarcus over there laying back and chilling and stuff.
Hey,
chill.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at you. How you doing? Oh, I can't hear you. Come close. Yeah,
she said, "Come close."
Far away.
Yeah, I was having some PC issues, but
okay, all right. Well, that's what. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to me. Welcome to the forum here. You know, when we were as Leighala, you were answering just now. You know, my mind went to your husband. Now, Leighala is married to an entertainer. He is the incomparable Ellis Hall, honey. That is Ray Charles' protege. He is one of the original California raisins. He has done everything. Ellis is
lead singer for the group Tower Power. You know, he does music for television. Can I say this? So bring it in, Ellis, because you know you have people who say, let's say we're at a show or something like that, and people like they feel the music and whatever, and then afterwards we're having a meet and greet or whatever, and you have people that come over, they push you out of the way, but because I know I'm married to him, but he belongs to the world because that's what he does. And music moves people, so I don't get jealous of that. But there are times when I have to say, hold up a second, because you know, we're gonna throw the bows, you know, like you touch me, you know. But I don't really fight people, but there are times when you have people who say, well, I knew him before you guys were married. Oh, I mean, I just, you know, they try to move you out of the way. I was like, but we're married now. Right. So hold on a second, because there are other people who would like to talk to him, you know, before you. And it's just a respect thing. But there are people, you know, there are people that he's dated and he's friends with still to this day, and vice versa. But we have a clear understanding that was then, this is now. And those people are very, very respectful. We don't ever have any of that overlap and stuff. But if that overlap happened, it would be on either my end or his end, depending upon who it was.
Right.
You know, so having confidence in your spouse, that they're going to do the right thing, because there
Right.
there are some some thoughts out there who who will try it. They try it, but but if you
yeah,
if you know what it is, what time it is, you know what I'm saying?
and it also depends on what you and your spouse have been through.
Yeah.
Is there any previous suspect behavior to where it warrants a certain reaction from, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like if y'all been through something already, and then you dealing with a person that's okay. For example, some folks are real flirtatious just by nature, right? And then some women be like, "Oh, that's just him. That's just who he is," or whatever. Then it comes a time where it's like, nah, that's his type right there. The little short, whatever. That's his type. So that's probably a little bit more than flirting. Let me get on over here. Hold on, y'all. Let me get over here. Hey, you signing autographs over here now. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be.
There have been some situations, and they're not friends or whatever. They're not friends.
Right.
They're people, fans or whatever. There have been some crazy situations, but at the end of the day, I know who I am, and he knows who he is. And so when we started out with that clear understanding, because I've been married before and he's been married before. And so there are situations that have happened in those relationships that I didn't want to carry over into this one. You know, because I could be like, oh, every woman that comes, I could be like, oh, she's coming, because I did deal with those kinds of things in my previous marriages.
But you'll worry yourself sick, or
but you will,
worry,
if you allow that, I can't put on him.
And that doesn't do anybody any good. Being like that.
I mean, I'd be crazy pulling my hair. I'll be crazy, right?
You be looking like me. You know what I'm saying?
But ain't nobody got time for that. You know what I'm saying? It's just I trust him until I see that I can't, and of course I haven't seen that I can't, and he hasn't seen that he can't. But then we go into the situation that there are people who have been married for so long, they've gone through these different situations, and I just actually had a conversation with a friend of mine, and they just decided they weren't going to be, they weren't going to be together anymore. And they didn't want to be together, but then they didn't want to be apart. So what they did was they decided, okay, we're going to stay here, we're going to stay together, but we're going to allow other people into our relationship, and they choose that person or those people to go into an open relationship. I'm not there. I'm not there, but there are people who do that, and because maybe they feel like they can't trust their spouse, and they know they're automatically going to do it, and so they they said, well, look, since you can't not do this or whatever, or they just sit down and make a decision because it just seems like best for the relationship, whether one person travels, whatever the situation is, it opens up that people just make decisions that are best for their relationship.
And that's the thing.
Well, I have a question.
What's between two people is between two people.
It's between men, right?
Right.
Well, actually, I have a question along that line. That when it comes to a relationship, I want to add something else in here. And this is something that people might not think about. This is one of my other questions in the 20 questions. Do you really seriously feel that you have always had the freedom to be yourself in your relationships?
No.
So the relationship I'm in right now is the first relationship, and excuse my butchered nails. I went to a good nail salon, I thought, in Detroit, and they told me my nails were too long for ombre, so now I'm like busted. Anyway, but I keep looking at like me pointing, and I'm like, I have no nails on this hand. But this
just hit him with the presidential point. You know what I mean? Hit him. Yeah, there you go.
But this is the first relationship I've been in that I feel like I can truly be myself, and I can have all my homeboys around, and I can, give my homeboys a hug and not feel like, oh, I've got to count how many seconds I hug them, or it's gonna be
One
like
Mississippi, two Mississippi.
Right,
yeah, right, like one Mississippi, two Mississippi. All right, cool, bye. Like, because I do have some homeboys that I've known for a really long time, and when we see each other, we like run to each other. That's like I don't see them for months, so I'm like, yes, like as soon as we see them. And I feel like in this relationship is the first time where I can still hold that excitement for other people outside of my personal relationship. And that's where I come back to it really depends on your spouse recognizing the type of person that you are, but also the confidence that your spouse has in themselves and their place, not only in their own life, but how they feel about themselves when they look in the mirror. Because if your significant other does not have that confidence within themselves just by looking in the mirror, they're going to reflect it out on you.
Exactly.
It's going to cause you problems. You know what I'm saying? Good night. And
You're either going to have a relationship that you can have friends or you can't.
Sure.
Okay.
So, or you're satisfied or you're not.
That's
true.
So, I kind of was wondering about that. Oh, go ahead.
Once you make the decision that that's the type of relationship you want to have, then you got to do the work.
Right.
And you got to, like she was saying, the biggest, you're doing your biggest responsibility as yourself is to just be you, period.
Right. To simply be. Yeah.
And your partner's responsibility is to only stay in the space that their bubble of energy goes. Don't cross into yours. Don't do anything to make you not feel like you can. If you want some crazy sexual thing.
There you go. You over there hesitate, man. Come on with it. Now, come on with it.
But here's the thing. Regardless of how your friend or your partner feels about that, they took on the responsibility of being that space in your life. So when you shared that with them, just the thought, it should never ever get treated wrongly, thrown back in the face at that moment.
Right.
And for the rest of y'all's friendship, they are not going to be themselves around you. So you both have to police.
You know what?
You knew the type of freak I was when you met me.
Exactly. But see, what some people don't do is in relationships, before you dive in, you don't figure out or even discuss how the process of how they think. Like everyone you deal with, you know who you dealt with. You know who's your partner, whatever. You know what they're dealing with and they're passing by and what you're passing by. So when you accept people as it is and you want them to stand in their truth, you have to be able to have that discussion. And like that last question that Tanya had, what was one of the issues? People don't discuss it in front of each other enough when it happens. If you talk comfortably to them, they will talk comfortably to you. But if you hesitate, they're gonna mark your mode of how your pattern behavior. That's why a lot of people now be like, I would like to, but no, we're not gonna go, or we're not gonna do. And they become passive because they're dealing with other issues because the reflection, they love their mate, but they know that right here, this is not where they're gonna shine it, And a lot of people, they love to point, but they never love to fix themselves. So that is where we have the issue.
And we talked about that last week when we were talking about self-reflection and accountability. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of folks that won't do that. So when a lot of people say truth hurt, that's because you're not really willing or ready to accept your own self. And you know what I'm saying, what's going on inside you. But like I said earlier, you knew who the hell you met when you met them. So you know if they're a freak or not. You know what I'm saying?
But you can still be a freak and still be a good mate.
Yeah.
Yes. That freak don't mean that you bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, hold on. I mean, y'all, come on now. You know what I mean? Because like they say, like some of the songs say, people say they want to, in the context of song and music, and a lady in the street but a freak in the sheets. And I don't know what the opposite saying is for a man, but or whomever, but
we'll make up something.
y'all can. And forgive me if I'm not using the exact pronouns or descriptors, because I'm trying to get used to making sure that it's all inclusive. So I don't want to seem like I'm not catering to everybody, but I'm learning.
Men
right? Yeah.
Too. Men are freaks too. Let me tell you something. The one thing about being in a relationship, you got to keep it all the way real. If you can, I feel confident in my relationship, and like Shan said, this is probably one of the first relationships I've been in, and we actually discussed who we were, what we were, and what we expected in a relationship, and so we enjoy each other. You know what I'm saying? And we do that. I mean, let me tell you something. My husband is we're like yin yang. We are like we have a good time, right? So
gonna have a funky good time.
Let me tell you something. This is my husband and I. This is my husband and our anthem. Okay. This is our anthem, right? Look, that's my husband right there. What is it, Ellis?
Yin yang in the thing. Yin yang in the thing.
All right, Ellis, what's up?
Hey, they got the theme music. Look, they brought in the theme music. They wasn't playing.
Man.
Hey, Miss Sandra.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, look. When you say, "Can you fully be yourself?" Whatever he got going on in his house, got him singing back there. You hear me?
I know that's right. You better believe that.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Ellis all live in the living room.
Yes, this is all the way live.
Well, the way y'all acting, we going live in the bedroom, huh?
Oh yeah, we have to turn the camera off.
Okay,
yeah. We have a special camera.
Because like we said earlier, what's between two people is between two people.
Right.
You're gonna come and be like, go ahead and turn that camera off then.
So let me.
Like a man
Hold on, wait a minute.
Like a man has said, I see nothing, but I feel everything.
Hey, there you go.
All right.
I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? But you know what?
Hold on. Look over.
I can see myself.
Come right there.
Hey, I got a woman. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, but you know what though? That's since he said that, that makes you that brings in the realm of tantric sex when you're talking about you. He said he can see nothing but feel everything. Right. Sometimes all you don't need to see nothing. Close your eyes and just experience pleasure. You know what I'm saying?
Through your fingertips or whatever.
Hey, I'm trying to say, can you,
and let me tell you something. And it's really true that like me personally, because at a certain time in my life, I probably was too vain to be to be married, to even be married to someone who's blind. But of course, and it doesn't have anything to do with, I don't say, well, he doesn't look at other women because he can't see them, but because it really doesn't have anything to do with what people really look like. And you see, sometimes people date other people outside the relationship, and they say, "Oh, she ugly. What's going on?" But it didn't have anything to do with what they looked like. It had everything to do with the conversation and how they were speaking, how they treated them, and that's the difference in what we do. So it's true.
Yeah. So when I identify myself as a sapiosexual, You know what I'm saying? People don't understand. They be like, oh, well, you look like. Every time you look like a hoe. I'm saying, what the hell a hoe look like? You know what I'm saying? Or you,
look like a
right.
garden tool.
Right. Or you look like you got them lined up. But I'm like, no, actually, I don't. No, I don't. But it's like
we don't keep lines around here. We don't do lines in this house.
you know what I'm saying? But when you, but like for some, right? Like it is the conversation because you can stroke, you can drop and scoop, and you can kegel and all of that good stuff. But at the end of the day, who you got to talk to? What you know what I'm saying? What type of can you engage in meaningful conversation? You know what I'm saying? And do y'all have similarities and goals and things like that? How much further can you go besides the orgasm? You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So I mean,
and it's communication.
I want to take y'all to a.
What happens when you really get to that age where you're not really focusing so much on the physical aspect of it? Can you all still communicate?
Right.
Can you still get along? Without having the actual penetration aspect of sex.
Right, because it's gonna come a point where Cialis and them other pills ain't gonna work no more. If you're a gentleman like myself,
Cialis.
I don't need nothing. Cialis.
You know what I'm saying? Like what they call it, the little blue pill. You know what I'm saying? The little blue pill. You know what I'm saying? But it comes a point in time where
hey brother, you learn real quick. It's all in the field.
Hey, that's what I'm talking
about. You know what? I want to ask a more serious question, but
this brings back.
I want Ellis to hit me with that shakalaka real quick.
Oh, okay.
Triple chakalaka with some extra sauce. That's what I'm talking about.
All right.
That's my
I was just about to tell Leighala and her husband that that's where the term where psycholactic comes into play.
That's a big word. That's a tongue twister.
That's like a Parliament funkadelicism.
Yeah.
Psycho alpha, disco beta, bio alpha.
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna just tell y'all right now. I don't know who LaMarcus is. And when I grow up, I'm trying to be like that man. That man is chill.
You're too kind, sir.
I thought I was cool over here with my little Remy, but here he's chilling with no drink in his hand.
I'm ready. He said, "I'm ready this time. I'm coming in like this."
Oh, okay, there you go. I'm trying to get my beard. You know what I mean?
Ready for anything.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'll just tell you all soon. We're going to go into full concert very soon as Ellis comes into the Soul Spotlight or Imitates Live. So that's going to be great when Ellis comes on and we get a chance to go to full-fledged Ellis. The whole it's always a treat. I'm going to invite everybody to come in for that too because it's always a huge.
But he's back there. Look,
and this time
he's back there on the organ. You see.
I heard him. Y'all know I like music.
Got Ray back there.
He's wonderful.
You know what I'm saying? Can you hear the hummingbird outside the window?
Can't hold
All right.
Whosoever will, let him come.
But you know what?
Let him come.
I know.
Brother Jenkins.
But one thing I want to do, I want to take it to a serious question real quick, and then we'll come back because I want to bring Ellis over later because I got to give him his congratulations, and you know why? And we did that a little bit. Well, yeah, come on, but for right now, I want to ask this question: what happens if your relationship? I got to take it to a serious level because our goal is to help people out there in their relationships too. Right. So that they can have this type of love and fun and connection and all too. What happens if your mate says to you that they have some type of regrets for being in the relationship with you, how do you handle that type of thing?
Can you, when you say regrets, can you kind of, I don't know if it's just overall regret or if you
I'm
have like
thinking overall. I'm
like
going to
with
say
the
first, I'm going to
person?
say overall. Yeah, like just being in a relationship with you in general, that they have a regret. You think everything is fine, but then you discover that they have regret being in a relationship. That's the first thing. But then what if it's something that's minor, more minor, like they regret things certain about your personality or whatever. But
That's what I was asking.
that's
Like,
a different thing.
was there a specific, like, was it, I
Well,
regret this
I
relationship
really want
because,
to.
it
For
was
me,
like,
I think I really want to know the overall. I want to know the overall for me. What
because,
if the person and you're blindsided by the question because you think everything is okay?
okay, the reason I asked that because I kind of feel like when you regret something, there's something driving that. Like there's like an overall regret. It's like you regret me as a whole individual, or you regret my personality, my attitude, my temperament, my lack of something. Are you used to 12 inches and I only got 8? You know what I mean, or whatever the case may be. Like, you know what I mean, like what are you regretting? You know what I'm saying?
Well, what I'm thinking about is this: if I look at it this way, you've seen relationships, whether it's your friends, your family, or on TV or movies, where a couple looks happy, everything looks like it is, and to have a person who just says that they have regrets for being in that particular relationship moving forward. So therefore, how do you handle that? Do you fight for the relationship and try to stay in it, or do you succumb to whatever is there? And these are things I just want to ask because we talk about relationships. We're going to be honest and
All
talk about
right.
relationships overall. Everything is not always there, and everybody in a relationship does not know how to handle a relationship, especially when something goes wrong. Okay.
And not all relationships are meant to be. I mean, because depending on where you are and what stage, at what point, y'all know what I'm trying to say, what stage you're at at a certain point in your life. That's what I'm trying to say. You could just be doing trial and error at that point, trying to figure out who you are and what's best for you. So if someone says they regret something, I mean, depending, I know for me, I was just raised. I'm born in the '80s, so I kind of came up with the older generation. So my first instinct is to fight for what I believe in, right? As far as the relationship and trying to make it work. So I'll probably stick around longer than what I probably should. That's just because of what I witnessed growing up. But when that realization comes in, somebody regrets something. I'm not going to sit here and argue, fuss, and fight with you back and forth. I mean, if you feel like you need to go, I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna let you know that how I feel and what my standpoint is. And if it ain't for you, then that's not me making a decision. That's you. So I'm here, and I'm willing to be here. But if this ain't for what you're trying to do, and you regret it, I will be cordial about the situation, and I will gracefully bow out and let you handle your business.
Ella said he had something. He's jumping all in the living room conversation.
Oh, come on in here.
Yes, I want to.
Come on, Ellen.
Hey, dear. I just want to say something before I go on to the next thing I'm working on. First of all, it's great to join y'all. But I want to say, second of all, through it all, the regrets, everything else, always hopefully keeping the lines of communication open, because that's the only way. Even if it's time to go, you'll know through the communication that it's time to go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I totally agreeing with your thought, but that the bottom line, communication is the serious key. That way you can work things out, or if it's time to close it out, you'll do that too.
I don't want him to leave because I do have a question, because this is one of the things that I teach. This is one of the things that I teach in resiliency is we always say that communication is key in any relationship.
Thank you.
But a lot of people do not necessarily identify or explain how to have that communication. You know what I'm saying? Like, people say communication is key and then that's it. But it's like, okay, well, what are the parameters of having successful and effective communication within a relationship. So if you have any words of wisdom, please share.
There are no parameters.
What my thought process in the communication, first of all, the bottom line, respect. It doesn't mean you will agree, but the bottom line, respecting each other's feelings, talking them out honestly, and again, it's not trying to, well, you did this, so I'm going to do this back to you. None of this and that, except if it involves the love. And I say through God's grace, involves the love. Because nothing else will, if you have the hunger to stay together, and if that hunger is gone, well, then y'all, again, be cordial and go your own way. But if you have the hunger, and I can only speak for myself, I'm going to desire to talk. And if I've done something to hurt my love, I'm going to do my best to correct it and move on to the next phase. And occasionally I'll sing a song, and that might help too. I mean, that's my reality.
Right. Gotcha.
And even when I could see, I came from that vibe of, well, I'm not looking at their face, so what can I get to in their heart that'll make them feel the way I feel? And that's what's coming from me.
Okay.
Right. Okay. And I believe Mr. LaMarcus was saying, he made a comment earlier, right before Mr. What's his name? Ellis, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Ellis. Okay. I'm learning, but we gonna be. I'm gonna tell you right now, y'all on the show. We
my bad.
Okay.
Family. All right. Go ahead. Hey.
Well, LaMarcus, you were making a point, and then I have to. Okay.
The only person you can tell everything to is God.
Hey, hallelujah.
So if you two decide that the output is the word, and I mean in its entirety, unconditional. We ain't nobody going nowhere. We right here.
Right.
No matter what. Once it gets unconditional. Now here's the flip side of unconditional. Like you were bringing up a conversation about when you hug a guy, it could be no more than 10 seconds.
Right.
We obviously had a boyfriend like that.
10 is long. Right. It could be 2 Mississippis.
So
that's it.
even when he was in his insecure state, the flip side of that is even when he's in his insecure state, you still need to find a way to be unconditional to that as well.
Yep.
Not just to everything you want to do that he needs to be unconditional to.
Right.
So that's balance. But if you guys can get to the unconditional, you can catch your girl and still, hey, get in the car, let's go. So the output has to be unconditional. That's the way that you can get that communication, because then you feel like you can say whatever to them because they ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I hear you say output, so are you in agreement that your input equals output?
Yeah, the both of you have to decide that unconditional, define it. You know what I'm saying? And then once y'all agree on that definition, that's what you're shooting for. And every mistake and every success along the way is for that output. Every drop of forgiveness.
Oh, forgiveness is the key.
Yes, it is. And then the biggest, my fault is that I hold on to things, but not at the top layer. At that anger management, that little mustard seed.
Right.
You gotta get that out too.
So I heard him say that forgiveness is key and forgiveness is important. But when you forgive, like forgiveness is one of these things where if you forgive, you move forward and you don't go back, because if you go back, you're still reliving something and you haven't necessarily truly forgiven. So can you forgive and forget, or can you forgive and not forget? Like can we play along these terms? I think y'all know where I'm trying to go with it.
You can forgive someone, but you don't necessarily forget what they've said or done or how they've made you feel, because that's what you remember is how that person has made you feel in that moment. But they can come back and they can say, you know what? out of anger, out of frustration, I said something I should not have said, and I'm going to work toward making you feel better.
Right.
So when you forgive, do you continually move forward, or do like, so there are those times where somebody will throw a jab and take a cheap shot at you and bring up something that y'all supposed to be moving forward on. That's what I'm trying to get at.
See, that's where maturity comes into relationships, because if you have a certain amount of maturity within your relationship, you know that what is the past is meant to be in the past.
Every mature person is immature at some point.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that. I like that.
We have those moments. We do have those moments. And having been in relationships before this and marriage before this, you know, I have been in that situation where it has been a situation of regret, not on my part, and it was a very hurtful, based on something that was very hurtful to me and I had to fight to get and work through that for myself. Because that person may have felt a certain way, and this, Tanya, you know, right. I was married. I was married before, and we tried to have children, and of course we had situations that did not allow that to happen. Some were very, some were. I went through miscarriages and some other things, tubal pregnancies, whatever. And so in his mind, his regret was that he married someone who was not able to have a child for him. But I had children. I had to look back at that and say, I had children from my first marriage. So I knew that it was not necessarily an issue with me per se. But if I knew then what I know now, I would have not married you. If I knew you were damaged goods, that's a hurtful thing. But I had to come out of that, and I had to deal with the fact that, you know what, that I realized, I have had children, so I'm not damaged, and that comes from that, and that comes from his psyche. That came from his psyche, not mine.
Right.
And so that's something that he had to deal with.
Yep, good deal.
Right. Let's turn the corner real quick.
But I'm free.
Let me make a statement of that, Tanya, if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
There's a mythology that I think is helpful for me, but if you look at everything as the glass half full, all this crap we go through, you know, was an intricate made test or obstacle course by God just for you, for the weaknesses that you have. And you just went through a situation that's now making you stronger. So we never win, we never lose. We win and we learn.
Right. There's no such thing as failure, only learning opportunities. And until you learn how to conquer an obstacle, it will always represent itself.
True that. And it will. It will until you conquer. Yep.
But you have to get out your comfort zone.
Back to back.
Now I got one more question, and then Tanya, I'm gonna pass the mic. Can you ever be forgiven?
Tanya's like, dang, no.
I'm just going left because we was talking about forgiveness and moving forward. Can you be forgiven?
I don't want you
to
cannot forgive somebody if they cannot forgive themselves.
You think about it in a positive way, half full.
No, my next question is going to go deeper into all that. Yeah, so before you go to forgiveness, let's go. Deep.
There we go. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got to go there first. But before, I don't know if before Ellis, I don't know if Ellis is going to stick around, if Ellis has to go work, but I wanted to say congratulations to you, Ellis, for your Grammy nominations. I want to say
God bless you. Thank you, love. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to make sure I say that before you disappear into the music world.
And that's where I'm going too. I've got stuff to work on, but I love that I was able to share some of this camaraderie and forgiveness being the key, but also, though you may not forget, figuring out ways to put things aside so you keep moving forward and make each other feel good, happy, God-spaced along the way. That's all I can say.
All right.
That's all right.
Thank you so much, Ellis. Thank you for being here. And I almost said shakalaka, but I got to reserve that for Ellis. Shakalaka. But okay, I have a question. Let's go deeper into this. I want to know about cheating. And that's why I said, let's not talk about forgiveness yet. I want to
Okay.
know, is it worse for you all in a relationship, physical or emotional cheating? That's the question we hear a lot. So I really want to know just how you would feel if your
You
mate,
saying
the physical cheating as opposed to emotional cheating.
that to me that
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
to me that depends on if you're to me that depends on if you are in a masculine role or a feminine role. I think I covered on PC on that one, right? Now,
What? Okay,
because
let's go.
in most situations, and I'm just going to go back to what we were when I was growing up, and then I'll
I'm gonna
keep
bring y'all back
keep it
close
to
to
where
me
it is
again.
now, right? So
All right.
typically from how I was raised, they said that men are physical and women are emotional, right? Which is why if a man gets caught cheating, a woman will ask, "Did you love her?" You know what I'm saying? Or what did you, she wants to know certain aspects of what you did, where y'all went, and she has those questions about the details of something because that's an emotional thing. And the first thing a man will say, it didn't mean nothing. You know, she was just fun. It was just this, because men are physical. So when a man catches a woman that's cheating, you know what I'm saying? He don't care if they out just eating and he tricking or doing whatever. He want to know, did he hit it? Did you love him more than you love me, or did you enjoy it, or whatever the case may be? You know what I'm saying? Because if she squirm or squeal or holler more so than what he did with them, his whole ego hurt and he don't want nothing to do with that woman. Well, a woman will forgive a man regardless of how many women he screwed, long as she feel emotional that he still is emotionally involved with her. And a man, he don't care how many dudes she talked to as long as ain't nobody touched her. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say to me, in my mind, and for me, it depends on the masculinity and the femininity of the person and the people involved in a relationship. But I'm gonna be quiet and let everybody else get their counter.
Then I must be right in the middle because they equivalent to me.
Yeah.
They are the same.
Elaborate, please elaborate.
Like, okay,
Right.
so for instance, in my previous relationship, I've mentioned this before, he had a homegirl that he had, and this refers to the last question too, because like I said, I don't have a problem with my significant other having female friends. They don't have, that's not an issue for me, period. But when you are not fully forthcoming with the parameters of that relationship or what it was early on. So they were friends since high school, but they had talked for a little while, right? And I had met this girl in person and I liked her. She was fine, but I went and looked through his Instagram and he doesn't keep any photos of any of his other exes or anything like that, anybody that he was sweet on. And I come across this picture of him and this girl hugged up and he's kissing her on the cheek. And I was like, is this the same girl that I just met? And he's like, oh yeah, we used to talk, I didn't think that it was that important of a situation for me to speak on it before you met her because I had already told you about it. So it was supposed to be me making the assumption that was the same girl, even though she's the type of girl that looks completely different on her Instagram. So I didn't even put two and two together that they were the same girl at all. And I was like, so it felt very secretive to me that he was not like, before I went to meet her, he wasn't like, hey, this has been my homegirl for such and so. We used to talk, but it's not like that anymore type thing. But then this goes into, okay, the physical interaction that happened between them as well. So I had gone to his reunion, his 10-year reunion, and they went to go take a picture together. And he didn't put his hand on her ribs. He didn't put his hand on her waist. He put his hand right here, like right here. And like as a southern woman, I don't know how it is for everyone, but I'm gonna let you know where I'm from. Where I am from, you do not put your hands in certain areas unless you are with that person. So as soon as I saw that, now 16-year-old me would have ran up on that field and grabbed her by the hair and gave her a couple 1, 2, 3s. But 28-year-old Shannon was like, or 29-year-old Shannon was like, oh, bet, and just walked. away.
So let me ask you something. So you saying his fingertips was too close to body parts is what you were saying?
He was pretty much grabbing the fat on that side of her ass.
That's how you saw it.
No, that's where his hand
Now
was.
I'm totally stirring the pot here. I'm just messing.
I know.
With you,
Don't play with me on that. This is not a time to play with me. But but that to me is it's being secretive emotionally. You are showing disrespect to me physically. And the idea that you think that it is okay to touch another woman in that regard, especially not only in front of me, but how would you touch her if I was not there?
So obviously from the way I'm listening to it, y'all are not in
Mic
any
is
type
off.
of hours.
What? No, we're not together anymore. Like
no, I was just saying for whatever that relationship was in that time. So y'all were not involved in any type of extracurricular type of deals as far as like open relationships.
Oh no.
Swinging or anything
If
like
I
that.
see another man touch my woman, if I see another woman touch my man like that, it's game on, baby. I don't appreciate that. I am not here for it. I am not a jealous person, but I am very territorial when it comes to the bedroom, and I am not one to share anything that I call mine in that perspective.
All right, okay. All right. Well, I don't know what to say about that. I know I ain't touching people in certain places because now you touch anybody anywhere, your ass is going to jail or getting some type of case brought up on your ass, going to court somewhere sooner or later. Mm-hmm. So that's just with the times. But if you with somebody, man, like what I said, people know who they with. You know if your gal gonna stab the shit out of you or shoot the shit out of you, you know that. You know
right.
What I mean?
And so, that's also my mistake in that relationship, not recognizing the warning signs and it's not all of his
red flags.
Male, yeah, exactly. It's not all of his male, female friends. You know what I mean? There was only 2 that I really had a problem with, but that is because he had a disregard for physical boundaries when it came to these 2 women. So that not only to me, when I see that you touching a woman in a way that I feel like you should only be touching me, that's a physical cheat to me.
And so that wasn't so whatever his action was, it wasn't like that was him as a person. Like, you know how you have some people that are just not just hugging.
No, that's not him as a person. That's not him as a person. I would talk to him. So he's Laotian. So I would talk to him and be like, oh, you need to express yourself. You need to be more physical, stuff like that with him. And he'd be like, oh, well, I come from an Asian family. We're not very emotional. We don't talk. He would always bring that up as an excuse. But when it came to these 2 women, he was very like, so there was one time we went out to Houston to go to a concert, and one of these women walked up an hour late to the get together. And as soon as she walked up, it felt like 30 seconds went by, and he's like, okay, I'm going to go talk to so-and-so. And without even missing a beat, I was like, you gonna sleep with her tonight too?
Oh.
Because I'm out in Houston by myself with his friends, and I'm with him. And he's telling me he's fixing to get up and leave my company and leave me by myself to go talk to this other woman, instead of being like, hey, I need to go catch up with my friend. Would you like to come speak with her as well? What do you need to speak to her about in a public setting that is so private that you cannot speak about in front of me?
Where to meet at later. But look here, Miss Cookie, whatever the hell you eating, please share. You know what I'm saying? Please share.
You come to Atlanta. All those smart marks you made, and come on over here.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta look at it. It's 11:28 in Atlanta.
It is. It's 11:28 over here too.
And I'm enjoying, but don't do like our friend did last time, okay?
What happened last time? I wasn't here last time, y'all.
You try to keep on challenging. I'll beatbox and I can, break.
Oh, I wasn't challenging you. I'm just saying whatever food you was eating looked delicious.
You gotta come to Atlanta. Why don't you do this? Show up for Tanya. Come visit Tanya, and we have a wonderful time.
Okay.
Don't play with me right now.
And then we can damn sure get on the barbecue pit, because that's what I like.
Hey, it's nothing. It's nothing. Right. I love to cook.
Cool. Let's get it. But come on, Tandy Land, Tandy girl. Come on here, girl.
Ty, you're muted.
Is she muted?
She's
muted now. I was talking, and then finally I saw it. Then I finally saw it across the top. It said, "Girl, you muted." That's what the system said to me. But I really want to know, what is your wildest adventure that you have had when it comes to your liaisons, your relationships, your mates, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your whatevers?
Current
What is
or
your
past?
wildest?
Current or past?
Is this
Whatever
PG-13
you
rated
want.
R, rated X?
Whatever the
Current or
wildest
past?
is.
Mother is here.
Hey,
Oh,
it's late night now. It's late night. You can talk about what you want. It's late night.
We passed the 20 minutes. We passed the 20 minutes.
Yeah, we good. We good.
The elevator in
what's
the
the
airport in the Renaissance Hotel, the Airport Renaissance in Atlanta.
she said, "Let me pinpoint this for you right now. Here's the Google Maps. You need my location because I can send it."
All right. The airport.
Has anybody been to the Renaissance Atlanta, the one by the airport?
Does it have a glass elevator?
Yes.
Oh my God! Was it like that scene from Titanic, and it was all foggy, and you just put your hands on the window, and it was like, ah! Did you do one of those?
He's like,
she having a flashback right now. She needs somebody go get that woman a cold glass of water or something.
Skirt. It was like, oh.
So is Leighala the only one? Come on, Cookie. Come on, Cookie.
Yeah, don't start with me first. I want to know. I'm gonna give you a doozy. I'm gonna give you a doozy. But I gotta see the PG-13 rating and everything that Tony Lou said. So I
know that Shannon and Mike are going to come real. So come on, Shannon and Mike, and usher and Cookie in this door, y'all.
Yeah, y'all do that. And I'm right
here.
They
both still.
To be honest,
look, Cookie. Cookie, they're thinking about it.
Now, be honest with you, I'm trying to figure out which one is which one is the most extravagant. Like
I know. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, even though I like leashes and all that stuff, I'm very much a type of person that I have friends that would have sex at the park, and I don't want to have sex at a place where I feel like children might run up on you.
In the middle of the night, they're gonna be there. They're gonna be in the middle of the night.
No. In the day. In the day.
If they're in school, they're not gonna be there.
But I'm saying but I was also in school at this point. Like that was back in the day. So
woo! They're talking about her days of skipping school. Okay, let's go ahead and see.
I'm telling you. So I mean, there's been times my mom has caught somebody sneaking out the window back in the day. Like I was really good at taking the screen off the window back in the day. There were times mom would try and disconnect my car battery. Like my dad wasn't a mechanic. Like I didn't know how to fix it. There's been plenty of times we've done the Titanic in the car, there's been times like that, but as an adult, I don't know, the freakiest thing right now is with Steven, because we're so far I can't say this on live. He's gonna be like, why are you saying that?
Yeah, you dropped his name and everything. You didn't say this one time in band camp. You just said his name and everything.
Okay. There was one time we were talking about some really serious shit on the show, right? And he was sending me nasty videos like the whole time we were on the show, trying to figure out how well I could concentrate. I don't know if y'all figured it out that day, but I was over here, oh my God, trying not to
So
I just go and just leaving the chat completely.
I'll say in my lifetime. I'll say in my life, I've been doing this shit since I was 11. So, man, I'm gonna just say, the toll road, riding on the toll road from Orlando to Tampa.
I did do something recently.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to drive while what I'm saying? Trying to drive and then
one of the toll roads where the cops are most active.
Yeah.
He said he got road top. That's what that is. He got toppled. He got toppled on the road.
But we was driving and it was wobbling all across the lanes, and we literally had to pull over. And some of y'all probably didn't have some car experiences where you trying to give all you can, but you still trying to watch out for the cops. So you working with about a 3/4. You know what I'm saying?
I was a runner back in the day, baby.
And then once it get good to you, you just like, fuck the cops. I'm going to jail tonight. Like and then you do that. I mean, that's one. But you said the most freakiest.
The wildest adventure of them all, or some. It might not be one.
That'd be the one. For me, that'd be the one where I had a person that I was involved with, and then they was experimenting with the opposite sex, and then that person was a full
same sex.
Yeah, they whoa.
Opposite sex.
I was dealing with a person of the opposite sex, meaning a woman.
But they were experimenting with someone of
the
same sex.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Right.
I just saved you. Real fast.
Okay, but that person that they were dealing with was only into women and no men. But I was successfully able to have both of them because of my,
your suave demeanor,
my many talents, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Margo is in the chat right now. And Margo is saying, hey, y'all, that double standard sucks. She said, hey, that seems so quiet because I know she had trouble technically. And she said, she said, you need to know before you connect yourself to that person where the triggers are. She's talking about her previous comments. And then she says, understated at school. Oh, that's Veronica saying someone's something about how understated at school. I'm not sure what that was. And I think the wow that Margo is feeling right now is the fact of the question that we're on right this moment. So y'all back to the thing. Ladies, keep typing to us. Keep typing to us.
Now watch this. You asking the questions, but your ass ain't answering.
Because
we'll wait. We'll wait. We'll wait.
Well, first of all, you notice that both LaMarcus and Cookie are gone, right? Oh, this Marcus.
Yeah, they out here trying to make a story up right now.
Right now, girl. We gonna get him with this one. We gonna kill him with this one right here. Watch this.
Right now.
We gonna tell him right now. We was doing it live in the living room.
You want to hear the freakiest thing we did? We was on a talk show and we decided to walk away for maybe like 10 minutes and just handle something and then come back like nothing was happening.
But you see how Tanya tried to deflect that question. We bring that ass right on back.
What about you, Tanya?
Well, I want to see what LaMarcus and Cookie first.
No. Where have you two together?
They guess they can answer the question later, but you get your ass on here and answer this question, Miss Lady. We wants to know. We wants to.
Oh, my bad. You couldn't hear me.
No, we can hear you.
Wow. We just out here making assumptions.
Yeah, go ahead and talk to us, LaMarcus. Where's your wildest?
Throw it back on her. Throw it back on her, LaMarcus, because she's trying to avoid the question.
Just throw it back.
I don't know. I have nothing to say.
Go ahead, LaMarcus. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm just saying that my life is just kind of boring. I don't have anything to say.
No, we ain't trying to hear that.
And I think my mom won't be watching.
My mother still talking about sucking dick.
My mom won't be watching. I hear somebody's feedback. Okay. Give me a second to really think.
Veronica said her was under the stairs at school.
What?
Veronica,
I remember. We know Veronica's story. Yes, we know Veronica's story. Remember the ladies' night when she told us about under the stairs? So funny. And how she had to apologize to the whole school. So, yes. Come on, Cookie. We ready for you. Cookie, LaMarcus.
I'm right here.
What's your wildest experience?
Yes, the wildest. Everybody's been PG-13, so I think I should do a PG-13 one so we can follow suit.
No, you don't have to. It is 11:40. You do not have to.
And everything, baby. We here for it.
Huh?
I said you can tell us about the sex swing and everything, baby. We here for it.
Honey, speaking of sex swings, Element Rose. Oh my goodness. I was researching and seeing of some different ones.
Mm-hmm.
Picture Lord of the Rings meets the Queen of Dragons in Game of Thrones. Oh my God, I saw the most erotic sex swing that was leather based with the steel. I'm getting one for next year. I'm doing my party in Cancun and Puerto Rico. You're definitely all invited.
I done seen some sex swings.
Huh?
I'm just saying, I done seen some sex swings. She said the Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings is Game of Thrones.
So this sex swing got a dragon head on it, motherfucker. Something? What's going on with some eggs?
The leather, the detail,
The leather
how
and
the
the detail.
wood was.
Oh my God.
Yes,
That's
it
what
was
she's talking
everything. Yo, it was everything. I was mad because I ain't seen it before. I was like, who created this?
Oh, they care about this one, I see.
Right.
I think the most to see someone put themselves before you, to see them put you before themselves, and to see someone happy, to see you grow or experience something is a very humbling but appreciative moment sexually. And for me, I can say, if you look at one of the times it was like one of them ringers that Tanya is talking about, it would be when someone allowed you the space to see if you could be able to enjoy yourself. And that's from what everybody else's answers. I think that is a very...
So let me ask you this, because I'm gonna tell you straight up, point blank, period. It sound like y'all experienced some swinging type experience.
Now, actually, swinging type thing is nothing wrong with that. And swinging type is not what I'm talking about. That's really actually kind of basic.
Right.
When you're dealing with men and women interaction, and when you're dealing with feelings and emotion, everybody can take more than of the opposite than what they can give. So swinging isn't anything. If you don't have trust, then you don't have anything.
Oh, trust
what I'm
me.
saying is for a man to put any man in the same vicinity as himself, or a woman, and he's actually truly happy for his mate, to see her get to her potential. Because see, a lot of people want people to zone out at the box that they're comfortable with, because it's not that they can't be better or want to be better. It's the fact that they don't have the time or effort to be better because they're comfortable. You see what I'm saying? So with me, it's not about swinging, because that's just if you talk about polyamorous relationships, or if you talk about a relationship where we both look like this, but we're not. At the end of the day, I look at your sexual energy and someone to understand what your abilities are and what makes you happy. And when you meet halfway, that's when it glows. And for a woman to feel a man, which is very hard for women to find men that are as comfortable with being themselves, to let you grow, to have that experience, it makes you appreciate whatever or whomever you're supposed to be.
Exactly. And if you don't mind me asking, and this is while in a relationship.
This is while in a relationship. It's like with women and men, I found out if you have to find someone that has been humble enough to know where they make their mistakes. Everybody will go to the relationship and they'll tell you what went wrong, and they go over the little, the iceberg part of it. But when you get a man that understands the reality of what he did and understands the perspectives, and then he looks at you as a woman and says what it is that you are needing to be your best, or to see, or to venture, or to grow, you find a man that's comfortable in his skin. Because what's for you is for you. Nobody can take from you. But what people get upset is that they start competing with the next person instead of themselves. When a man competes with no one but himself, then you don't understand. He doesn't see anyone else as a competition. He sees you. And if you are who he's focusing on, he's focused on the best interaction with you. Because when you stop competing with everybody, you end up winning. What we do is that we wonder about, oh, that's your best friend, and why did you do that? No, because I'm not going to make excuses for you not giving me what I've deemed necessary and fulfillment, and I'm not going to do that. But when I can't do what I want to do for you as a mate, or vice versa, because I'm worried about how you feel, that means you're nowhere on the level that I need you to be on, or myself, because I need you to be more comfortable than me. So it all takes a man to stop competing and to focus, or a woman, and you end up finding out that you can seize the moment of the day with your fulfillment of each other.
Right. And I was going to say, just like I got a friend who his favorite quote is cooperation, not competition. So,
Exactly.
And then, right. And that kind of goes back in line with what the question was asked earlier is, do you feel that you can actually be yourself in your relationship? And so
it has to start up in front. I talked to one of my best friends, and then and we said this. I said, when did being honest become so hard? When did it be hard to be honest and be real?
When your
When
heart
did
ain't
that become
pure.
the problem? And you
When
know
when
why
you
it became? Because we gave so much excuses for what it is that we thought or we perceived or we assumed. Instead of just saying, look, I want to be real with you, but you have to understand what that is going to mean. And then you have to listen to yourself and say, if she or he be honest with me, what does that mean for me? And a lot of people don't do that. We want everyone to be real, but we don't want to be real ourselves because we give an excuse. I always tell people, look at the perspective or the perception that someone came from. You don't have to walk a mile in my shoes. Just understand that someone might be walking different than you. And if
exactly.
you do that, then you'll understand there's a different answer. There's a different rationale. And we can't keep boxing everybody in because it makes you feel comfortable. At the end of the day, tell someone what's real. I can't take it. I don't like it. But then they're going to tell you, why not, when I'm doing this every day? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I look at. But for me, it was finding a man that had nothing else but a humbleness of let me see you grow and journey. A lot of our friends, they don't clap when we're making successes. A lot of times we want people to see us looking a certain way, but not perceive to know the inner. I tell all my friends, don't call me every day. I'm not that friend that want to watch the TV show with you. Call me when you need me. You got to figure out and compartmentalize. And when you do that with your friends, do that with your relationships. But to see a man take on the persona of seeing it, and no man or woman is ever right. It's always because we have emotions. We're human. We're made of flesh. But if you really want to truly grow, you have to understand you might have it right or you might not. But your friend or your partner has to understand that. And if you keep on talking about an issue, it's because one of you doesn't understand, believe that you got it, or the other person gets it. So that's when you have to say, what's the problem? No, what's the issue?
Until you handle it, it keeps representing itself.
They want people to think that just because you're grown, you're supposed to take it and tolerate it. Mm-hmm. But then that's when people risk it all and kill it all. You know what I mean?
And I think that's also an issue just with like how we've been raised to like, oh, well, if you see something that you don't like, you only okay. So for me personally, because I have a hormone imbalance, I have to take time to figure out, is this an emotional response? Is this a valid response? Or is this just me reacting to the environmental responses, environmental influences that I have? So sometimes I can't talk about things within the first 5 minutes that it happens. I have to come back after a nap or like 24 hours later and be like, okay, this was the issue and this is what's going on. And I think that so many people have a fear of being so reactive that they just don't act.
Right.
Well,
you know what I'm going to do is
overreactive. So what's your story?
Okay, before we say anything about me, let me see if I do this tonight. Let me see if I can do this right tonight. You see, Veronica says she means under the stairs at school. She said under the stars at school, but so I'm really going to the chat now, and I'm taking some of the people out there, and I asked the people out there what were some of the experiences, and so I see we getting a few responses, and so I'm going there, and then we'll talk about me. What little I'm going to say. Let's see. Bridget said, maybe the time at the beach or on the balcony railing 7 stories up. LOL. How come y'all got real calm now? Y'all got real calm when I put this
because it's one of them things where, and that's why you see, you speak in mystique. You speak in mystique. That's why you talk about current or in the past. You don't let nobody know whether it's present, past, or future. You just speak in total, boom, in totality. That way can't nobody try to figure it here what you got going on.
They don't know if you was a freak.
Now you or anybody, if you want to share, because right now you've been deflecting. You've been deflecting like some guy.
Well, he said we're Wonder Woman right now.
You
know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Look, while you deflecting with them bracelets, we finna throw that damn truth lasso on your ass.
I would say this: you'll figure it out. What is the top of a vehicle? The
roof. The roof of a car. The roof of a car.
Not the roof.
The hood. You left some booty prints on the hood.
Cheek prints, booty prints on the hood.
Prints. Was it cheek prints or was it chest prints? Was you like this or was you like this?
That's all I'm gonna say. I was in the woods. That's all I'm gonna say. Looking for Bigfoot.
You have to check. Did you have to check for ticks after?
You have to take the what? Check the what?
Did you have to check for ticks after?
Ticks. Are you in the woods?
I didn't go in the woods. I didn't get down in the woods. I didn't get down in the woods. We were just in the woods.
I'm just trying to get some context clues together.
There's another experience. It's the one it's something like what Michael had said earlier. The tantric. What is it? Tantric. When you don't touch anybody. Yeah,
right.
That was yeah.
Oh, you had a psycholactic experience, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Psycho-lactating experience. What did you call it?
I didn't say nothing about no lactating. I'm gonna put this in the chat so y'all get. I'm gonna put this. Psycho-lactating. Let me find out you milking people's brain over there.
And Shannon says, dream, amen. So I'm going to. I'm pulling some of these folks in here tonight. Wait a minute. I know we don't have Margo saying something.
What's she say?
Margo says, backseat of a small ass car, not coming for a girl with an ass, a big girl with an ass. I know that's right, Margo. So I'm just getting y'all to participate with us tonight. Everybody in the chat, you see the question, chime it on in anytime. Now I've even said my thing down. I still haven't heard LaMarcus say anything. So
no, I've been listening. I've been listening out. What's the question?
Look, as he say he been listening, he's like, what's the question?
I mean, your answers were great, all spot on.
Experience out there. I just want to know about your wildest experience out there.
My wildest experience?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the question for real?
Yes.
Y'all answer didn't sound like that.
See, that's why we said it was PG-13.
We went on a side rail.
I did.
Okay. I passed.
Oh, you passed it? Okay. All right. I was about to go all ears. I need some EF hunting up in here trying to figure out what LaMarcus had to say. I
will say, as an adult, I've been more of kind of not as much because I've kind of figured out my sexual stance and where I want to be, and also I have my own place, so I don't have to have sex in a car anymore. I can actually come back to a bed and be like, yes, have sex with me here, thank you. But I will say, back in the day, there have been plenty of times that, so in Texarkana, the park closes at 10 or 9 at night, so that would be a place a lot of the teenagers would go to hook up, and there may or may not been a time that I've had to run because my dad showed up at the park and I've had to drive away pantsless. And there might have been a couple times where the cops pulled up behind us and I have also had to make a mad dash away from the police pantsless. So
like you always pantsless, girl.
I'm saying y'all lucky I'm wearing pants for this. You already know I'm always in shorty shorts. It's cold now though.
Yeah, that temperature drop on your ass.
I was wondering what what your fall and winter attire was going to be.
So Tanya, you asked what was the wildest experience. You should probably ask what is their wildest desires? Is what they freaky wants and desires is.
That would be that, and then we will start to head towards a close. But
my mother is here. My mother is sitting right here.
Oh, and your mama had your ass. That means she was doing something freaky too. All our parents was freaky.
My mom said, no, we just had
That what she gonna tell you because you her daughter.
Well,
tell mom I said hey too. Tell mom I said hi. I ain't seen mom in a minute.
Hey, hey,
hello.
Said hi. Everyone said hi. Hello.
So
Mike said hi personally though. He was like, hello, mother.
Okay, so I know I said hi personally too, but anyway.
Oh, Tanya said hi too personally because she took it personal. So she also said it personally.
I sure did. I did. But I do want to know about your wildest desires, and then we will start to head towards the close. You know, I just really want to know. La, you set up on that, La.
Wildest desires?
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up.
My mom said her wildest desire is to retire.
Did y'all see the chat? Did y'all see the chat?
Yes, I'm talking about. That's what I said.
Okay.
I'm talking about the chat. We're going to hold on. Let me put it
about the graveyard. About the graveyard? Yes. You disrespecting the dead? I was gothic and I still never had sex at the graveyard. I knew better.
Okay, we're gonna go. Okay, I do want to know about the desires. So, La, I see you set up. Let's talk about y'all's desires, and then we're gonna slide on out. We're gonna do 20. We can't get to all 20 questions tonight because it's a lot of talk.
Can I tell my wildest desires? Or can I? Okay.
Oh, she got yes. Go ahead, share. We listening.
He died in a van in the graveyard.
Oh, wait a minute.
Fucking some bitch that he don't know. Okay. So my mom said her craziest experience, it wasn't something that happened to her. She was working at the ER.
I was working in a hospital.
She was working at a hospital. Yeah.
When I was real young.
When she was younger, and this guy came in, had a heart attack. He was dead on arrival. And he came in, he had a heart attack in the middle of having sex in the back of a van with a woman that was not his wife in a graveyard.
Wow.
On Halloween?
He said on Halloween.
No, I missed
it. No, that would have been the topper. On a full moon? No.
So there had to be a lot of explanation
He
in
said
that.
it was in the middle of the day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was a lot of explanation on that one. Ooh.
They didn't even call an ambulance. The girl that he was having sex with jumped up and drove him to the hospital.
At least she cared enough about him to take him to the hospital.
Oh.
They were not married to each other. They were married to somebody else.
Oh, they were having an affair. They were both married to other people. There you go.
Ooh, wow. I wonder if anything ever came of that, like they ever found anything out, because I'm sure some of those stories had to come out when it came down to where he was, how it happened, who he was with. I'm sure somewhere down the line, some truth came out in that. I'm sure of it. I'm so sure.
Yeah, the wife showed up and been like, how did he get here? And then the girlfriend come around and be like, it's nice to meet you. I'm sorry.
He came and went at the same time.
Okay, let's talk about your wildest desires, and then we're gonna get out of the living room. So
that's like Color Purple. She's like, how do you die on top of me?
On top. My paw ain't my paw. Right? Like
y'all are crazy.
You get the house, but I get all the money.
Okay, y'all. Y'all real slow to answer this question. Let's talk about the wildest desire, then we're gonna get out. We're gonna get out of here.
Have I done everything?
Talking to me?
yes, go ahead.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes,
Veronica trying to come in
LaMarcus.
here. Wait a minute. Veronica coming in here. Let's get Veronica up in here too.
Graveyard.
Hey, y'all.
Wait a minute. Ron, what you got?
Heard you had graveyard duty.
What you got, Ron?
When we had girl chat last week or the week before last, I forgot to tell the girls. Yeah, I did. I was in the graveyard. I was creeping. I won't,
Uh-huh.
we was just creeping. Somebody came pick me up, and God rest his soul. Right now, he's dead and gone. But he came to pick me up one evening. He was like, "Yo, let's ride." And I was like, "Where we ride to?" He's like, "I don't know. We just gonna find a spot." And we went way out in the country to the graveyard to this church that has a graveyard in the back of it, and we went up in there where nobody could find us. And that was the wildest one. I mean, that was the wildest one. But then that one on the stairs was kind of wild too.
Yeah, you spoke to the ancestors that day, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder if they were standing around
by the
watching
teacher. I got caught by.
Right, just all these dead people, just like.
I got caught by a teacher up under the staircase in the 7th grade.
Seventh grade.
Right, that was my repeat too.
Y'all are badasses. Y'all just bad. I see Bridget has the open mouth face. Let's see.
Ooh.
Okay. Tell us what y'all's wildest desires are, and then we're gonna get out.
Fantasy. My fantasy is riding into the woods.
Riding him into the woods?
No. Riding a Harley Davidson into the woods with Delroy Lindo. And I just love Delroy. My husband knows I love Delroy Lindo.
I know, right, girl? Oh my God, yes.
Ride on that Harley Davidson with Delroy Lindo, holding on to Delroy Lindo, and then getting off there while the motorcycle's still revving, and it's like, yeah, I'm about to get this.
He just needs to come to my house. I'm riding on a motorcycle.
LaMarcus, isn't it your turn?
Oh, look.
Hello, LaMarcus, it's your turn. Hello.
She's like touching the microphone. She's like, "Is this on?"
Asking you. I
know he hear it. Don't be scared.
That's not too crazy.
Don't be scared. It's yours. It's whatever you say.
Okay.
Live in the living room.
I think I heard
Lala's phone. It might happen tonight.
No.
Y'all, let's hear
Work.
Okay, anybody else got anything? Because y'all are getting sleepy and quiet. So what are you?
Everybody trying to. Everybody realize they live right now. They don't want to say nothing that's gonna come back later on.
Hey, what do you
know
saying? Your fantasy.
I would love to see one of mine is to have my partner, but you really you get a soulmate for every level that I think you're at. Sometimes you take that person with you. Sometimes you have to stop and you get a new or they get a new. But to get someone that you truly see eye to eye and to see the comfortability of when you can actually walk through a walk together, when you can say what you want to say, do what you want to do, see others. But no matter when you have a platform, you're still together. And a lot of people say that's what your relationship is supposed to be, but we don't have that because we settle, we sacrifice, we scared to say because of the narcissistic ways that sometimes we put upon ourselves and our partners. But for me, to have the best of the best, be able to go head to head with anybody and to know this man has my back or vice versa. Sexually and understand you. You see what everybody gets wrong. We look at our situations, we look at our friends and others, but my goal is to have someone that's what you actually can do. Where you're tried, you're tested, you're true, and you can stand. Super Bowl, on the middle of the field. Yeah, we got this. And hopefully we do. And a lot of people say sexually, you get that. You don't. Because a lot of people right now, if I ask you, with you or your partner, is he everything? Is she everything? You're going to say yes or no. But some people, it's a either or. But when you get to the point where you can say you gave it your all, and I know I'm my all, because everybody knows what to bring out of each other. But to really truly be humble is to understand that I want to see him enjoy everything of his desires and vice versa. So for me, it's one of those Thriller and Manilas, when you get that once in a lifetime fight about, and we're going in there and we come out and we can still say we're side by side. That's what I would love to see, because sexually, you're either someone that's helping someone get to their journey or they're helping you. Let's see about how many times someone has actually said, y'all help together. And that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think it's, you know what I think?
And it's
really
very
good.
nasty when you
It's
think
really
about
good.
it, but that's just the PG.
Can anyone truly admit that in their relationship that they have had true sexual freedom to the fullest extent?
Yeah, I have.
You know what I'm saying?
I do now.
Yeah.
I have.
I mean, that's what I was saying, is that it's good
just
for
when
us
you
to
get the
have
feelings. That's what
it's
it
good
is.
to have fantasies. It's good to have those fantasies, because that's healthy. But when it comes down to it, I have the best sex that I've ever had, only because I can be open, honest, and free. I can express myself without it seeming like I'm judging or comparing.
Being judged. Yeah.
I can ask for what I want without somebody taking it personally.
Right.
So I mean, and we can, because when you can laugh together and you can talk, that opens you up to be able to experience
on multiple
what
levels.
Real intimacy is really about.
Exactly.
And it is about intimacy, not just the act, because you can have sex with anybody, but the intimacy that goes along with being with someone.
That connection.
The vibration, the connection, the conversation, the mood, the tinglies is what I like to call them. The tinglies.
Your energy.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
The energy. So I may never know what Delray Lindo is like, and I don't really care because I got Ellis, honey.
Right,
and,
exactly.
I got Ellis, and that's what's up. That's what's up.
Right.
I know that's right. But you know what? I see that.
Take it from me right now.
But see, you know what? Like and Tanya, that's a whole different show you can have. But like with Turn 'Em Loose and what Miss Hall was just saying, when you talk about your energies and everything that a person has in a relationship, a lot of people don't even get to that, because you have to be vulnerable, feel safe enough to look at that person eye to eye. But when you do it, a lot of us are nowhere near the potential that we have in us or our relationship, because we have parameters. And
so let me ask
women, we don't. A lot of women have never ever experienced an orgasm. I mean, they've had a feeling, but they've never experienced that, because they feel like they're going to be judged. They feel like they can't just allow themselves to let go and to enjoy and to be in the moment.
Exactly.
A lot of women have mistaken their orgasm for getting ready to piss. And they don't want and they feel like they don't want to pee on nobody.
A society has taught you that, everything is here. It's like hot and ready, like it's a microwave. Bam, it's now. It's not. A lot of women and men, a lot of men, you'll hear say, I'm trying to nut, or they want to nut. That's like the fulfillment. And it's not that. When you hear someone say, I want to experience something, you can nut by yourself. You don't need another person to do that. So that's never what is going to be the creme la creme of you and a mate. But when you say, I want to experience an orgasm, especially climactic orgasms, people don't know what your body has, because whenever you have sex, you're trying to have sex with what you want to do to the person. Or, I know they like this, I might do this a little bit.
Yeah, it's
but
self-fulfilling.
When you dive in to understand, I'm trying to connect with this person, and I'm trying to interject, that becomes when you notice that your desires are fulfilled on a different level. And then that's what a lot of people understand. They never had an orgasm. A lot of men or women say, if someone is taking too long, oh, it's taking you forever. That's because you're not the one to get me there. But no one wants to say that. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you what Pimp C said, because a lot of people be like, "Ah, man, she wasn't wet, she was dry." No, ain't no such thing as dry coochie. She just wasn't into you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
A woman can control if your body. If a woman or man is being in tune with what's going on in their energies of the world, and you know what your vibrations are. Anytime you settle for less, your body, your mind, your spirit should just say, that's not it. Now, a lot of people think that, oh, no, that person's not being tuned in. You haven't got to her because you're not able to, because you already in a certain parameter. It takes someone that's looking at that person and, like you said, accepting that person for who they are. However, all of us, just because you're comfortable with McDonald's don't mean that McDonald's is where it's supposed to be at.
You know what I'm saying?
You can step it up a little bit, different type of hamburgers. Not to say nothing wrong with McDonald's. I'm saying you can experience more. And you
because McDonald's just say that they loving it, but Burger King say you can have it your way.
Exactly.
You know
And Wendy's say you can customize it with it being fresh. You know what I mean?
And Arby's say that they have the meats. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
But nobody messes with Arby's.
But it's just understanding that if you look at it from the point of view of you're not in competition with no one, it'd be a lot of people that stop their emotional suicide of their relationships. A lot of people want you to be comfortable where they're at because they can't stand to be out of their comfort zone, because it's about being vulnerable. But when you talk about someone fulfilling them and fulfilling yourself, how many times we change because we're talking at work, or I think because you're trying to appease or to make things better. People don't look at that. But you, instead of meeting someone halfway now, you need to be able to be comfortable in your skin, but you see the best or the better in your mate. And you know his fault. Right.
So one of my questions is, how many times have you been, like, you know what I'm saying, engaged in sexual activity and like you're doing whatever and you're like, or whatever, and you're restraining yourself from doing something that you want to do because you feel this person ain't ready for the shit I'm about to unleash on them.
And everybody is going to look at their emotions, and you can tell it. You get that emotion. And then they tell you, no, it's not that, but you know it was because you saw that in their eye. You saw
because you be ready to do something. You be like, man, I'm finna choke the shit out this motherfucker, or I'm finna, you know, whatever, or just like but no, and I ain't saying this on no crazy type stuff, but what I'm saying is you want to
stop saying hold on. Stop saying
look, there's been times where you wanted to unleash the beast. And I'm talking about man and
all we need is Michael Collier up in here. That's all we need is Michael Collier here tonight. But go ahead.
There's been no times where you want to unleash the beast, but you can't, because it's like, man, if I do this, they're gonna think I'm crazy than motherfucker. And this could be your mate, your spouse, your significant other, like your spouse, or it could just be a fling. But you just like, man, like, you know, I was, you know, going hard or go home, or don't come, you know, go hard or don't go at all. But so I'm finna like, but they not ready.
Hey, I want the type of sex you got to ask God to forgive you and re-recognize you as a different.
Yeah, you get like the type of shit that make you go to church and ask for repent and repent and confess.
No, you got your knees right after you done doing, Lord, what did I do?
But no, what you said is you will want that, but the reason why we're scared is because of the rejection. Even the best of friends, you're looking at it from their eyes and not your own. For someone to truly, and there's very few marriages you see out here, it's very few friends, family members that you can see that they can say, I know that I was blessed with a season with this person. Mm-hmm. And I know that we're growing now in two different directions, and I was her soulmate for this point, but I wish her well. People are so, it's mine. I want all the toys for myself. They're not seeing the beauty of experiencing someone from the moment. I tell people now, even with COVID and things that's going on, even right now with you people, if you stop trying to compete and you start seeing that you're in a separate entity, and there's enough. If this planet, if this city, if this state, if this world, anything that you look at is just a fragment, and there's so many more galaxies and things, the possibilities.
Exactly.
Why am I going to compete with just you? If you take one loaf of fish and bread and make it for thousands, you know what I'm saying? The Bible, anything you want to say, I am not competing with you. But when I look at you, I can learn from you. Exactly. I can grow, I can experience, I can know. And that's where a lot of people mess up in relationships. Take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? But if I am afraid for my partner to tell me what they truly want, because I have limited myself, I need to slap my own hand. But if I truly care for someone and want the same, I got to be able to stand on faith. That's what we ask for so many people. And we just heard when we talked about people that was looking at different nationalities and cultures when they have stood up and when no one else stood up with them. When you talk about your sexuality, why wouldn't you say with it being the truth has been hard? Whatever you want, all of us right now, 6 boxes. All of us can have 6 different personalities, 6 different ways of how we want to have sex. And I am fine with that. I want you to be the best at whatever you are, whoever you are, in the lane that you are. But just be safe and be true to who you are. But when people get it messed up, when you want to be with another person, that's when you have to say, where am I going to compromise? It's that simple. Now, if you can't tell your friend or your mate when things are going wrong or what it is, it's like with your schools. Now schools have to give you an update as a parent in 9 weeks to let you know that your child is failing. So at the halfway mark, they let you know. So when the 3rd benchmark, you know that if he doesn't get it, he can fall, and then he will fail. They can't just fail your student. That's because
but a lot of times, the issue or the problem or whatever has already been talked about. You know what I'm saying? For example, for those who've been in relationships and they wanted to try something and they're like, hey, babe, you know, I want to try anal. And she's like, no, never. And he's like, oh, yo, I want to try anal. He's like, no, never. I ain't doing that. Whatever. You want me to let me put something up your ass? You know what I mean? Whatever. He's like, nah, I just want to, whatever. That man is telling you, you know what I'm saying? Or that person is telling you, I'm trying, this is what I want to experience with you, my mate or my significant other or whatever, my partner.
Y'all not figuring out how to get it done. You just saying
right. And so
make both parties comfortable.
Right, but they keep saying it and they keep saying it, and then that person is saying no. Years pass by, and then they be like, yo, they go to work, and this is how these little work flings happen, right? These work husbands and work wives and shit. So they go to work and they be like, yo, having some issues at the crib, you know what I'm saying? Woo, woo, you know what I'm saying? You're a reasonable, respectable person, you know, blah, blah, blah. I value your opinion. What I need to do this. I don't know what her problem is, because if I had a man like you, I'd let you do it every day, all way, every which way. And right then and there, from that conversation, curiosity has been sparked between the two of you, right? It's been sparked between the two of you. So now what happens? Hey, any luck on that? Because I gave you some advice. Nah, that shit didn't work. Christmas party come up. Wifey or your girl or whomever don't want to go. And so now you go to the Christmas party. Hey, how about that? Nope. Drinks get the kicking. And then next thing you know, it just happened, baby. I'm sorry. It just happened. Right? Like, no, it didn't just happen. That shit been in the works from the first time you've been communicating your wants and desires, and they failed, and they got, you know, and they got the Heisman. And then on and so forth.
That's like gaslighting someone's boundaries. Like, just because your partner has boundaries, like, you need to respect them. If my man doesn't want me to put my finger in his butthole, I'm not gonna go find another man that wants me to put my finger in their butthole. Like, it's not that big of a thing. If you having that much of a sexual desire puts your relationship in a detrimental place, then that relationship was never meant for you.
Exactly.
So the question would be, back to the original question, are you fully satisfied, you know, as far as in your relationship, or are you being, you know, when you're with a mate, you know what I'm saying, you're supposed to be able to be 100% completely you and completely. But
if you're not 100% if you're not 100% open and honest and
Right.
receptive go the same way, then this question can never be fair. You have people that say, yeah, they are 100, but yet they're only 100 when they're asking that of you. How
When it
you
suits
want
them,
someone
yeah.
to understand you is a different ballgame. You have
Right.
to look at it from both sides of the field. And if when
Right.
people don't want to look at their relationship, when you say third party, a mediator, a psychologist, a psychotherapist, anybody to sit in, a preacher, if you're trying to get married, when you ask a third party, they're supposed to be a what? A person that is bipartisan, you know what I'm saying? A neutral, or just someone
A
that's
neutral
not a
party,
component.
right?
But when you sit there and you say to your partner, I want you to do this, but you can't do that of yourself, then right there, that's being hypocritical.
Yeah, when you put
So someone has to
stipulations on
take
it.
someone, and that's what we deal with a lot of the majority of relationships. They don't ask that question and say, yo, Dad, why? Why do you want to do that? Or how can we do that? They never ask those steps. They just say, I want to do it. Like a guy say, I want 2 girls. All right.
Yes,
Well,
so I was about to add. So I was about to say something just to that. A lot of men will ask, their significant other, and be like, "Hey, I want 2 women." But then, when you say I'm 100, or this relationship I'm 100, but if she come back and say, "Well, I want 2 men," now remember we had the conversation that men are physical and women are emotional, right? So we'll be like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna rock with my man. I'm gonna please my man. Anything to please my boo. And then she like, well, yeah, honey, I did this for you, and I'm thinking like,
you can do this for me.
Yeah, I want to be DP'd. So what's up? And he's just like, hell no, like
you went to a long way. Pineapples. Back it up a couple steps.
She said, I want to know what the Eiffel Tower looks like.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And then it's straight up, and it's like, no, hell no, because at that point, it's not reciprocated the same. So, what I mean? Like, I don't know. But I understand what you're saying.
Exactly what it is. It's just like what you said. If a man is asking for 2 women, then what are the 2 women doing? He's not thinking that both their faces are right here by your man part.
Right.
But if she say, all right, I put out 2 for 2, do for me like I do for you. If you say, hey, and you're like, wait a minute. But what it shows is you're coming at it from a perspective of you're thinking about it from you. You're not thinking about it from her. Because like I tell men all the time, you want someone to be that way, but a lot of men want a passive woman. But even the most passive woman is not really happy. Right. Some people have chose to settle for their own happiness than someone else. Like you have people that say, it doesn't matter if you want to have sex a lot or a little or a relationship. If he wants to have multiple, you want to have multiple or whatever, or if you're kinky or whatever. People want to label someone and then they want to say, you had the choice at the beginning of the relationship, friendship to say, you can't handle it or not. It's okay to say, yo, I can't deal with that because I'm afraid. People want to make it seem like they transferred onto the person who's you're experimenting or you're learning. No, I think everybody can go as hard as you want to or it's not. But there's some people that don't even have
Some people just want to tap out. Some people just they're not afraid of it. They just want to tap out. They're like, I got to the point where I've reached my boundary and I can't do it at this point. I mean, this is no longer serves me, and so I'm going on.
Tap out. Tap out. Tap out.
Well, let me tap in and say a couple things. Let me tap in. Yeah, let me tap in like some we do and say a couple things myself. You know what? First of all, I said I had to go and check on my monetization because I'm telling y'all, I know I got limited last night with Michael Collier because we got a little real. So when y'all went into conversation, I said, let me over here and check. And when I went over there, they grabbed me and said, wait a minute, we got to see if you are who you are. And I had to prove my identity just now in order to, still continue. So
they were like, she's talking to Bronson on
really,
here. There's no way.
Yeah, they're like, it's just this heifer or what? So, but I wanted to ask y'all and put this in your head real quick. Think about this. Okay, we know our societal pressures right now is that the way the negative connotation that they put on sex many years ago to make it dirty, to make it you're ashamed of it, and they did all these things on purpose many years ago. Just overall, what if We can move back into a place as we move to our higher dimensions, 5D, 6D, on and on and on, where it's no longer that anymore. No more negative connotation, no more shame or anything like that. But I think about the psycholagnet thing where you could actually be anywhere and see somebody. And you'd be like, right
Straight
there.
up.
And you'd
So
be like,
psycholagnic is the true definition of mind fucking.
Right. And you could just be that way because all the societal pressures are gone. And we move into this new realm and you could just see this individual and it could be like, and you know what I'm saying? And then you know, you don't have to have that relationship, but you have that connection. Now that would be my wildest fantasy, to have that connection and that situation to happen. And you don't even have to have the relationship unless you want it.
Do they know that you're doing
you're
that
both
to them?
in.
Oh, okay. So
you're both connected.
So telepathy then. You're talking about telepathy.
Yes. We're gonna be because we're gonna be in when we move to higher vibrations, we're gonna be that anyway. We're gonna be at the higher vibrations, be able to do stuff like that anyway. So
she's just like she walking past Lily, she walking past somebody, I just straight up banged you. You didn't even know it. Like you didn't even know it.
There are situations where people have met, and they've met in that, you know, they've looked at each other and they have really, I mean, both connected on a whole nother level, and, you know, and it's almost like at that moment they're having. There's something is going on mentally, spiritually, and emotionally with that person, and sometimes it's better than the physical act of having sex. It really, I mean, and that really happens. I mean, it really does happen.
Right. That's what I'm looking at. I believe we're going there. I believe right now we've been so in this world.
We're really there. And we're really already there. If we really open ourselves up to it, because there are things that we can do without even being able to physically touch each other. And that is something that's very real. I mean, you can connect with someone on that level, and it's just not physical. It's just not physical. But that person.
That's that anxiety.
Well, I got a list. I got a list of people. I need you to line them up so we can get the.
Hey, look, that's when that anxiety kick in. When you talk noise all night, and then you finally get there. As soon as you get in there, you be like, oh, right. You be done, and then you be like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? That's that whole. I've been thinking about this all night.
I'm sorry, this has never happened to me before.
I've been going through it, and then you get in there and like. Because you've already played out everything, you've already connected, this person has wooed the hell out of you just with their presence, with their essence, with their vibe, with their smell and everything else and looks and features. And by the time you get in there, you just be like, damn. And she like, you know what I mean? Or whatever, you know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, and I'm only saying that because when we talk about tantric sex and psycholagnic type sex, and people are like, what the hell are they talking about? And then they go do their research and they like, I still don't understand. That's about the closest you can get to it, right? When you done sit there and thought about something, you know, talked yourself into something like, ooh, and you've been so anxious, and then you get there and then you can't even enjoy yourself the way you thought you was going to be able to do it. That's about the closest you can get as far as an explanation where somebody can understand those definitions or those terms. So, but anyway,
Well, you know what? I want to start to head towards a wrap. We've been here a long time. We've been on a long time. We got a late start getting into everything.
It's been a long time.
We got in. But once we got in there. We got in there. And y'all talked it. Y'all did the damn thing. I ain't mad at you at all. So I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break and come back, and everybody just tell us what you got going on this next week, and we're going to ride out. So y'all just hang tight, roll the Tandy Lancome, and we'll be back in a second. We are back. We are back. Well, y'all, it's been a wonderful show tonight, having everybody in here. And one thing that we like to do, I'm sorry, putting my winky faces in the chat before we go. What are you laughing so much about, Michael?
I'm
He's
sorry.
out here talking about golden showers in the chat. Nasty ass.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Do that in the shower if you're gonna do it somewhere.
Don't let me have to put that on the screen, because I will put that right on this screen. But if that's the fantasy,
I'll read it to you. You want to hear it?
I mean, I see it. Straddle, spread lips, and that golden flow. I see it. I'm gonna put it right on the screen so everybody can see. He said, "Turn it loose." He said, "Turn it loose. Turn it loose."
Somebody sent that to me and said, "Put that in the chat." So I put that in the chat
for a friend. For a friend.
So much.
That's for a friend, huh?
Yeah, for a friend. But you know what? Thank y'all so much. It's been a great night and the whole shebang here, and it's the chat and having you all. Where did LaMarcus go this time? LaMarcus,
LaMarcus, where's Waldo?
Then we get to see his den, the lair, that he has over there.
LaMarcus, is he gonna show up and close it out?
Look.
Let me dive in here real fast.
Just dived in. So then we're gonna say thanks, of course, to Kal, who was in earlier tonight. Kal is somewhere. Last time he was on the show, he moved the whole show, so he is somewhere.
Right,
he's
from the
moving.
car.
That's how we know. He's walking wherever he is. And so Veronica was been in and out too. And Margo, thank you, Veronica and Margo, for being in here tonight, and then also in the chat, and Bridget in the chat, and you all have really helped this show to be very, very, very great tonight. And so, as we always do, I give everybody a chance to talk about what it is that they've got coming up. So we're gonna start with you, Element Rose. Shan, tell me what you got coming up, girl.
I'm wrapping up a website for a client in the next couple days, and then I've got to finish up Tiana's logo for her thing. I think I still owe you a business card, Mike. I think I have it made. I just wasn't sure if you wanted to put an email on it or something. I think that's the only thing back.
Yeah, we'll rap about it. I mean, at the time when we were discussing, I think you were getting ready to go do your artistic that thing in Detroit. Yeah. So yeah. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk. We'll link up.
My art fantasy that just happened. Speaking of fantasies. And I don't know. I'm waiting on a couple of clients to come through with pictures, so I can get on some paintings and stuff like that. I'm gonna go see. Oh, I got the fashion show on the 14th. It's called The Dream. I can send a flyer and all the stuff later on. And then at the end of November, I'm going out to Indianapolis to go get Steven, and we're gonna drive back down to Texas.
Okay.
Baby, lock your door and turn the lights down low.
I would be nosy. Is he moving it? Because Shannon would ask me so quick.
Put on some music.
Michael, would you shut up?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the Remy. It's the Remy.
So is he gonna be in Texas?
Yeah, he's gonna come down and kind of see how we vibe outside of the crazy artistic environment we were in, but that's the goal, is he's going to move down here with me.
Okay. All righty then. Right,
okay. You must.
I mean, I'm not going to say I don't, but I know exactly what you over there saying, Michael.
I'm just saying, make a motherfucker
I
move.
will neither confirm nor deny. What?
Yeah.
Okay, Michael, I'm in my 20 minutes, Michael. I'm in my 20 minutes.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Well, I said labor. That's about 20 minutes from the end.
Yes.
That's about 20 minutes
from the end. Okay, I'm sorry.
What you got coming up? Turn them loose. What you got turning up?
I'm retired. All I'm gonna do is light these two pits up and barbecue some meat for the folks in the neighborhood. That's about it.
Okay.
Are you gonna start pulling your pants up really high too?
Who? Nah, my pants ain't never got to go no high, but I don't never wear my pants below my ass anyway. Because if I got to run, I got to get somewhere.
You said you're retired, and all you're gonna do is do that. So I'm asking if you.
No, so if you want to know about me, and what I'm turning into, y'all, what's them commercials with them people that man be telling them people what not to do in the store? That insurance commercial when he be telling them people not to be acting like their parents.
Captain Obvious.
Oh yeah, the Geico commercials.
Yeah, whatever that is, he telling people that's me right now. I'm at Ace Hardware. I'm at Ace Hardware telling people like, yeah, boy, it's a good lawnmower. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you got all that yards. You need a zero turn. That's what you need. You need yourself a zero turn. That's what I'm going through.
You just chopping it from everywhere. Okay.
Straight up. No, but the only thing we got, like I said earlier today, the only thing we got going, we just submitted that 501c3 paperwork, man. So that's really what we working on. Me and the crew, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, Bridget is she's in the chat, but she's been working diligently on getting all that paperwork submitted and stuff like that. So we just working on trying to get that approved. It's already been submitted. We just waiting on it to get approved. And so once they get approved, we'll have a nonprofit, and then that's really that's going to be the focus, really. Once that gets approved and we got going. But besides that, I'm out here trying to show the East Coast what their Texas barbecue like. You know what I'm saying? So I'm out here putting it in there. Okay.
I hear you talking.
Hold on. You say you hear me talking, but
yes,
you got a little pointers.
Yeah, I got pointers from you, and you keep saying you're gonna bring that barbecue around, and I keep saying that
ain't nobody saying no barbecue.
Gathering, ain't talking about barbecue, ain't nothing came in the mail.
We was waiting on the gathering. We thought we was going to Vegas. We thought we was going to Vegas.
Still in the works. Still in the works.
Like, hold up now.
Calm down.
Ain't got nothing to do with no barbecue.
All right, let there be a storm first.
I'm retired. I'm retired. Let me see. Tell me when y'all want me to come to Atlanta and barbecue.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
We hungry now.
Because we gotta have that. And remember that the barbecue sauce is showing up. And I know you're the kind of barbecuer that doesn't need sauce, but remember the bone cleaner sauce is gonna be.
My grandpa gave me a recipe. We good.
Okay. We're gonna see. Shout out to Chef Cat out there. What's up, Chef Cat? Kathleen Bowen, how you doing, lady? So shout out to her. That sauce is in the mail. All right, LaMarcus, what you got going on coming up? What's coming up for you?
I got to do a sales pitch for the chat room too. But in about 4 weeks, there's a cryptocurrency that I'll be dropping.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Just Google One Source. One source. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Free sales.
Oh, that's right. I'll definitely talk to you about that.
Yeah, definitely talk to you about that.
Yes. All right, Miss Cookie, what you got coming up?
This has been a hectic couple weeks since I've seen you last, but it is very good. I'm actually, remember I told you, I said I'm gonna try to get y'all to come over my side of the bridge, and literally in another week or two, I will have the press release and everything to be announced on what the platforms are. I had to figure out, you know how you try to figure out what exactly the universe is telling you and how to make it clear. And to get some clarity, I'm happy to say that I will have the first third of my book has been being reviewed and having to be able to have the platforms. Everybody has been looking at it and just being able to understand where I'm trying to go, because everybody wants to change me but me. But I am happy to say I'm going to have that. So this next week is going to be literally looking at as far as legalities, lawyers, contracts, things of that nature in 2 weeks. And then we're doing this week also on Thursday, we'll have the schedule for the next, we submitted it for the next year, including the last quarter for this year. So I'm happy to say that we're finally getting the dates and the opportunity. From there, I fought for years for to have whatever dream or whatever movement. I just want everybody to be able to stand in something they can say that I don't want to change you. Like if I ever ask any of you to come, which I've already did for the ones last time on part 1, I want y'all to come here. I want you to be whatever you are. I don't want to take against your mission, but if it's something that we're trying to articulate, I want someone to help me be better as I want you to help, myself and others and yourself. So I'm happy that now I'm actually able to have the date. So in another week or two, I'll be able to email you. And I'm glad you're coming on my timeline, Tanya. I have a lot of people. I've been speaking about you and Element Rose, your artistic abilities, honey. I was like, listen, we need to get an artist like her because that painting you got in the back that we talked about right now, honey. That is everything about the movement and the energy I want to fulfill and to see others to grasp. So I'm happy about that. So that's where we're at in press release within 2 weeks to a month, and we have where the book is and where we're going for the collegiate tour. So I'm a little excited now.
Cool. Well, I thank you for being here. We will look out for all that you have going on and let us know when we can come in and support you, all that.
Anytime likewise.
Okay, we'll be right here. All right, Leighala Jimenez-Hall. What you got coming up? I know a lot. Girl, what's going on? What you got?
Of course, we're in the first round of Grammy of Grammy votes. So I'm working on that for Ellis, and then of course making sure his new album came out on the 10th of September. So still promoting that and getting reviews and interviews and those kinds of things. And I've got a couple of additional projects. My daughter Christina Ariel.
Tell us about Christina. Tell about what Christina does.
Christina's one of the leading African American cosplayers. She's also the host of on the Star Wars Network, a show called Star Wars: The High Republic Show, and she just finished doing a red carpet event with Aldous Hodge, and another with Funko Pop with Anika Noni Rose, and she's doing some things right now. So, just seeing how things are going. We just have a lot of stuff that we have to do, and reworking. Our website, Leighala Management, is under construction right now, so we're in the process of getting that together and just making all the changes that we need to make for that. So it's a lot of stuff that happens. So, some stuff you can talk about. We also have the documentary for Ellis that's, underway. So there's a lot of different things that we're working on. So.
And of course, it's Tanya and AIL. So
And of course, yes, I do. And of course, we've got some really great guests coming up for the Soul Spotlight, and which is really exciting. Next Thursday,
I'll reveal the next one. Oh, I'll tell them in a minute. I'm gonna tell them in a minute who it is.
Okay, well, we got some really cool. We got some real cool guests, coming on, and just looking forward to seeing how things go with AIL. And the one thing that I did say earlier is that even though we're on the show and people still need to like the show and try to share it as much as we can on our social media platforms so we can build it up. And of course, that's going to open up opportunities for some of the guests that we're pitching, for them to kind of be able to see what's going on so that they can say, oh yeah, this looks like something that I can do. So we're just supporting one another. That's really what it's all about, is supporting each other and seeing that we do. And Shannon, I was going to say, I really like that
Thank you.
that picture on the wall. I really think that's really nice. I love it.
The painting she did.
It's awesome. And she's giving it to me through the internet. I accepted. I accepted. I need look. I need one for my office wall. I need something from my
I mean,
office
I
wall.
do commissions. I'm open to whatever. I do personalized paintings. I also do graphic design. I do everything from logos to business cards to flyers to video edits. So I've kind of got my hand in all the pots. It just depends on what you need.
Well, I appreciate it, and Cookie, congratulations on your book, and hoping that everything goes right. Everybody, I just wish you all well. Michael, you have to bring some barbecue. You have to bring some.
I'm waiting for the barbecue. I love to eat now.
Bring it to LA. Bring it to LA, and and LaMarcus, your cryptocurrency. We just want to see. I like to see everybody win. That's just my
exactly.
It's seeing everybody win. So hopefully, I'll get to Atlanta, and we can all kind of get together at some point.
Yeah.
And so that's really cool. Just like I said, I'm so glad that you guys invited me in tonight, and I had such a great time. I'm sure Ellis had a good time, but it's time for Hogan's Heroes. So Ellis is watching Hogan's Heroes. So Ellis he has his shows. So so he's up there with Hogan's Heroes. So
thank you and Ellis for coming in.
Because he didn't want to walk away. He had more to say.
Well, you know what, Leighala, I wasn't expecting you to be able to stay alone, so you had a great time hanging with us. So I really appreciate you being here because I know your schedule is like fire. So I really appreciate you coming in.
I'll be back sometime. I'll be back.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, you know what, y'all? I've had a great time being on with y'all tonight. I have a lot of stuff going on. I am at one of the most exciting times. It's been building a slow build for me, and even though I don't talk a lot about it, it's because I can't talk a lot about it. But it's a slow build of things, of the change that is happening, worldwide changes as well as personal changes that are coming, that are going to lift me into a place where I can do the projects that I really want to do. Not only will be financially able to do it, but just have the ability to do it in general. So I'm super exciting. And yes, Vegas, we are still doing Vegas. So don't even trip on that. The girl, don't forget, because that's going to be one of my places where, remember, Tandyland East is Atlanta. Studios here, Tandyland West will be out in Vegas. So unless something changes, that's the plan right now. So that's a given that we will be able to do that Vegas thing, So y'all stay tuned for that. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and hit y'all with my social media, and I'll come back and tell you who's coming on the Soul Spotlight next week, and we're going to end. So here we go. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Art Imitates Live with Tanya Dixon. So be sure to like and subscribe. And also check us out on all of our other social media. Well, party is I just can't believe that we are finally about to go. It's been a long show, y'all, but I've had a great time. And I thank you all again for being here. Coming up next Thursday, what is that date? 1, 2, 3, 4, November 4th for the Soul Spotlight. We have a special guest, but first let me make sure that I go on the social media that was just now. If you want to be a guest on a show, if you have questions and comments or anything about the show, make sure you hit us on the website. It's tandyland.com, TANDILAND.com. You can hit us at info@tandyland.com, or even me, Tanya Dixon, TANYADIXON at tandyland.com. Or if you just prefer to do Gmail, you see my name here is Tandy Girl, so it's Tandy Girl AIL at gmail.com. And if you're here on the channel, you're catching the show, make sure that you like the episodes, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can always know when we do different things. Because we've been having a steady run here on the Friday nights for the living room, but we have soul spotlights that are popping up on the Wednesdays and the Thursdays and all that, so make sure that you tune in for that. Isn't it so funny? Every time I start talking, everybody start doing everything else. So, but thank y'all for listening. But we have a lot. I'm just sorry, I had to just send that shout back at y'all because I'll be listening to y'all asses intently, and then when it comes to me, y'all asses be doing everything else. I'm gonna go ahead and call you out real quick.
Listen, Teddy, we write down your notes. That's what a lot of us are doing. No, that's what you doing. You can shout us out.
That's what you doing.
Like,
Hey, look, I'm on here. Everything in this chat, I'm trying to tape it. I got at this and at that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to type it in here now. You know what I'm saying?
She just said, it's Tandy Girl, and then you go to Tandy Land, and then
right.
And see, I'm Tandy Girl. And she won't talk to the preacher. And then okay.
I had to go again because I know what my people who are regulars over here be doing. Cookie, I know you probably doing something, but I know my regulars. Y'all be doing everything, ignoring me sometimes.
I've been trying to soak it in.
I get mine.
Y'all have very good energy. I love it. But the fact you're going to call us out, I'm like, I don't know what they doing, but I'm writing this shit down because I really want to know where I'm supposed to go next week. And I sent you a message already of where I'm supposed to be.
Okay. You're bad at directions.
I feel like
you're bad at directions. She needs to go get the address herself.
You know what? I noticed one thing. I noticed one thing when I'm actually when I'm doing my thing. I notice it's a lot of weeks. Cookie, I be watching my people. They be doing everything when I'm talking. I be like, I see them. So I had to go ahead and just say something, call y'all out this time.
Okay.
All right.
But anyway, coming up.
I'm trying to make sure that I'm following folks and doing, my due diligence. You know what I'm saying?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, coming up next week on the Soul Spotlight on Thursday, November 4th, we have from the R&B duo Men at Large. We have Dave Tolliver is going to be in the house. So that's going to be, so we're going to have that interview, get a chance to talk to him about everything. And I really wanted to do the full poster before I came in tonight, but couldn't get the full poster started on it and then just didn't go well. So I have that, all the stuff will be ready to roll and we'll be promoting on that. And of course, next Friday, we'll be right back in the living room doing us, and seeing what y'all got to say about it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you all for watching out there. Thank you all for being here tonight and taking your time to be here. And thank you all for not getting too mad when I call you out. I'm sorry.
Listen,
I'm sorry, you Cookie.
Nah, I'm used to being called out. I'm ADHD, so I'm always like drawing.
Just the other day.
So everyone's like, "Are you paying attention?" I'm like, "Yes, you have no idea. I know everything that just happened." So yeah.
Okay, I read. But thank y'all for being here. And we gotta go. We gotta go. Been on long enough. And as I say in parting all the time, good things come to those who believe. Better things come to those who are patient. But the best things come to those who never give up. I'm Tanya Dixon. This is the living room crew and the guest panelists tonight. And you all have a beautiful week out there. We'll see you next time on Art Imitates Live. See y'all there.